Okay, let's do this thing. Alrighty, welcome everyone to PMPL Pakistan Spring Season 2023. I'm your host Ahana, and with me on desk after a really long time again, it's Prince. I did not miss you, but welcome back.
Hey, thank you so much, Ahana, for such a lovely and a warm welcome. And yeah, I'm excited to be here as well. PMPL Pakistan, week number one. I did see a couple of days early on, did miss the super weekend, but I'm sure we'll catch up on the action in week number two. I've seen a lot
Absolutely.
of things happening in week number one, a lot of different things that have happened since I've not been there. I do hope I'm still as surprised as week number one. I get as surprised as week number one.
Well, we might be able to see that, but well, let's just take a look first on how the schedule looks because the week two has already started. We are already on Tuesday, that is the first day of league stage week two. We will be moving on to the second day and then we'll give a break day for our teams because last time we could not give it considering the events that happened on the 21st. So, yeah, there will be a break time this time. You will have the breathing room, but then after a 4 day gap, we will be entering into the grand finals. I am very excited.
Let's talk about why these teams are playing. Obviously, being the winners will give you the bragging rights to be called as the PMPL spring season winners. But then the prize pool also has a very big impact on the team winning.
Absolutely.
$7,000 for the team coming out on top, and a total of $70,000 distributed between all the 16 teams, then the MVP as well, and even the league teams have a prize pool. So it is a huge prize pool where most of the teams are going to be rewarded.
Absolutely. And well, this rewarding will be going on according to the bonus points that are going to be given to them, which will become their initial points of entering into the finals. So, according to their rank, they will be awarded bonus points. And basically, if you want to find out what the bonus points of your team are, just subtract their rank from 21 and you'll get the answer. So, that's just how it works. But yeah, that's the bonus points. And here's the regular points. We do have a much lesser chunk of points for the chicken dinner now. So the
Mhm.
elimination points, they're going to play a key role.
That is true. That is true. It has been playing a key role since week number one, and we've seen
Yep.
how elimination points can be important. I mean, teams even coming second overall in the game, but not having enough elimination points. Usually, we do see them on the fourth spot, sometimes even on the
Yeah.
fifth spot off the podium. So you really need to have those elimination points in your bag so that you're able to perform consistently.
Absolutely. And well, the consistency of the performance, that
Hmm.
is going to depend a lot on how the groups of our teams look because again, I mean, we know that today we're going to see a shuffle and look at that. I8 has gone all the way to group E, 7th element has gone to group C from E. It's a lot of shuffle. It's a lot of shuffle and now the teams are going to have to think twice about the way they were dropping because earlier they did know that okay, if it's the first match, these are the teams that are out of the choice, so you know exactly where you want to drop. But now it's going to be a whole new story. They have to go through everything one more time. But yeah, the one match that you missed, this is what it looked like. This is the bonus points distribution of the first
Hmm.
bonus match that happened on weekend league. What do you feel about it, Fritz?
Oh, there's a new addition, 3x Esports.
Yep.
Magnus did start performing from day number 3 is what I felt.
Yep.
But 3x, it's a very good surprise for me. 20 points to their name in this particular game. Then BABLU, or team QWERTY, team tough. All of these teams have dropped because these were the teams that usually stayed in the middle of the charts, right? Fifth, sixth,
Absolutely.
seventh. This is where these teams were used to be found. But in the bonus game, they did not impress as much.
Yeah, and even after getting themselves, a couple of chicken dinners, the grounders could not
Hmm.
even make it to the bonus match. So that was just another
Oh,
heartbreaking
okay.
situation for them. So yeah, I mean, a lot of teams did face a lot of changes, but we have a couple of teams that did challenge each other quite a bit. Here's Bablu versus Regicide head-to-head analysis, and well, I do want to tell you, Fritz, both of these
Okay.
teams they did not give much, to hope for those teams. But then eventually, Regicide came up, took a couple of dinners. Bablu got the second in their bags, and I was like, wait a second, things are changing.
Hey, if I look at the statistics, Ahana, what I see is Regicide completely dominating.
Yeah,
Yes, we do have Bablu, who have a good number of knocks, but the conversion rate is not good. On the other hand, the same cannot be said for their opponents. I mean, Bablu, they did get some points, but they were nowhere near to Regicide.
Absolutely, and even when they were having a fight against each other, it felt like Regicide was having BABLU all the way in their clutches, and Regicide was literally wrapping the team around. They were able to eliminate quite a good chunk of BABLU's players, and that just put the team in a lot of disparity. And well, having seen that, it just okay. So we did see a water body fight just a second ago in the highlights, and that just
Mhm.
reminds me of this one particular fight. I do not know if you got to see it or not. So basically, um, Bablu's whole squad was inside water. Egonix
Okay.
I8, the whole squad was on the shore,
Okay.
and they just squeezed Bablu so bad, like right under the bridge. They went in and they just killed every single player from the side of Bablu, and it was ah, it was scary. And while talking about that, we do have a head-to-head of Egonix I8 as well. Let's see who it's against because I don't want to leave the spoilers out yet. There it is
It's
against
against
Quantum
Quantum
Rage.
Rage.
Yep.
Oh, what is happening, Han? I don't understand.
Yeah.
There is a team who deals so much damage but takes none, and then there is a team who has dished out 23k damage but has taken almost 20k on themselves as well. I don't know how this disparity comes in, but yes, Quantum Rage, I8, these are some statistics that show that these two teams are very close in terms of stats. I8,
Absolutely.
they did have some good performance on day number one. They were on top, I think, after day number one. I don't know what happened to them on day 2 and 3.
Well, Egon XIA did somewhere lag behind, and specifically their strats were not working out for the specific pool that they were playing against. And well, there were times. Okay, so yeah, I do have to talk about this one. Egon XIA versus Quantum Rage. It was literally happening right in front of each other. Those two teams were in a very bad position, and a player from Quantum Rage just threw the pan out. The pan
Mhm.
was lying right next to him. It was a 2v3. Agon XI8
Okay.
had all the advantage, the ridge advantage, the altitude advantage, and even the man count advantage. But then Quantum Ridge just took it. They won. And I was like, what is happening? We saw
Oh,
so many dinners being
okay.
stolen at this point. I was like, what's even going on? It was completely outstanding.
Oh, all right, all right. I'd love to see some moments like that happen today as well,
Yep,
Hannah. I mean, I've missed some action, but it I think it has been a great weekend for you guys. You definitely have enjoyed these games, and these games are very fun to watch. So I do hope that this games like these happen in week number 2 as well. And as you said, there'll be a break day on Thursday, so these teams will get a chance to go back to the drawing board, try something new for the top teams. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how does this thing go. How does the
absolutely.
matches go for today?
Absolutely. The teams did enjoy the games, but well, we do have a very enjoyable, very cheerful message for all of our viewers. So let's just take a look at that.
क्या बात है बच्चों, दिल जीतने वाली गेम खेल गए।
तो आंटी आपके साथ भी एक स्क्वाड अप हो जाए।
हाँ आ जाओ।
इस रमजान अपने स्क्वाड की गेम से बनो किसी की भलाई का मजबूत जरिया और खेलो सिर्फ दिल जीतने के लिए।
Well, so this Ramadan, squad up with your friends to lend support and play to win the hearts. Well, talking about winning hearts, Magnus did a great job at doing that.
Okay.
I mean, earlier we were seeing Zibian literally carry the whole thing by himself, but then
Mm-hmm.
eventually they just stepped up. And there's a couple of maps they are really good at. So let's just take a look at all the maps that are going to be played today.
I'd love to see some new map format, right? Hannah, we did see a day with 3 Miramars.
Yes.
I'd really love to see a day with 3 Sanhoks. The
I
day
mean,
of snakes. I'll declare it as the Ahana day, where you'll find Ahanas everywhere. But I think starting of the week we'll have that Erangel, Miramar, Sanhok, then Miramar, and finishing it off with Erangel, similar to day number 1 of week number 1. No changes there. First match would be sat out by Group E, the second one by D, then C, B, and finally the game of Erangel won't be played by Group A. So interesting schedule for day number 1, exactly the same as a
yep.
previous week. But yeah, I like to see especially the map of Sanhok, because that is what we call the map of comeback.
Absolutely. I mean, Sanhok becomes a little bit unpredictable for any of the teams considering the range is so small, and
Hmm.
even the players can be literally spotted popping out of anywhere at all. It's a game filled with
Yes.
surprises, so it literally becomes unfiltered, uncalculated. So you can't have a specific plan that you go by specifically on a map like Sanhok. So that just changes the game a lot, and that gives a lot of opportunity to a lot of teams to actually come
Mhm.
up and shine for a while. So I feel like it will definitely give a great shot to teams like TUF, teams like Negatives, teams like 52
Okay.
Esports. I am seeing all three of these teams stepping up quite a bit, but I'm expecting more. I'm expecting much more now going into the second week.
Oh, all right, all right. We'll see what happens in week number 2 because we've been hearing some chatter, and we've seen teams perform better in week number 2 as compared to week number 1. Week number
Mm-hmm.
1 just slides by a little bit, and week number 2 is where they finally start to show up. I mean, see, talking about the bottom 4 team in the overall leaderboard, for them to get back into the tournament is going to be the priority, to get back into the top 16 so that they're able to qualify for the grand finals. But for the remainder of the teams, that fight for the number 1 spot will still be on, especially for the top 5, is what I feel.
That's absolutely right. But here's what's happened in the last week, okay? As we
Okay.
walked towards the end of the week, the teams on the top of the leaderboard started getting more and more cautious because they wanted to make sure that they are not
Oh,
giving
okay.
up their spot to anyone. While the teams at the bottom just started getting more and more aggressive and they started taking much more fights because they realized at some point that, okay, we do not stand a chance fighting against the top teams. So let's just take
Mm-hmm.
as many fights as possible and collect as many elimination points as possible before the placement points are even a priority for them. So like, yeah, I saw a lot of changes happen, and that aggression turned out to be really good for quite a few teams. Like H2E made themselves a spot in top 12 somehow on the last day itself. Like in one day they just took a chicken, they made sure that they were consistent, and they made themselves a spot in top 12. We saw the
Okay.
same happen for the side of Reggie side as well. Like last 2 days they showed up, they took a chicken each day, and then they made themselves one of the last two teams surviving on the map of
Oh,
Vikendi. It was just great. It was outstanding.
I mean, if a team like Regicide can do it, the others should feel a bit motivated, right? Because they were
Yes.
very low on the charts. So yeah,
Yep.
I'd love to see what happens on week number 2. But here we go with game number 1. Ahana, predictions. I'll quickly ask for your prediction. Who do you think is going to take this one home?
Okay, so this is Erangel, and it has been a while since Seventh Element has been on a break. So I want them to come back. I want them to take this one again because I do want to see one specific team become the king of Erangel. But yes, I do have high hopes from the side of Magnus because Magnus has been performing really good these days, and I feel like they might just be able to take this one home.
Hmm. All right. All right. Let's see if that happens or not. 3x Esports. I've seen 3x Esports play very a very good game for the past 2 days, or that is
Yep.
what the leaderboard has told me. So I'd definitely like to go with 3x this time around. Cairo, Miracle, Mom2, and Zarbuff. Let's see if that happens or not. But talking about the plane path, somehow I think, although I8 won't play this game, but they've paid the driver. I'm sure they've paid the driver. They've made sure that every time military base is on the line.
Yup, and well, we'll just have to wait a little bit to see if the circle supports them as well. By the way, I'm really sorry. I almost forgot to catch you up on this one. The Faulty Devils, a team we almost
Okay.
had zero expectations from,
Mm-hmm.
they took a chicken.
TFD with good number of frags.
Yes, with good number of frags.
Oh, that's great. That's
It
great.
was
That's
somewhere
making.
between 7 to 9. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but yeah, no. The plane path was with the side of 3x. I'll say they've gotten that military base drop, but now look at the rotation. Look at the distance they'll have to rotate inside the zone. It's even northern to Pochinki. That's what, a 2,000 meter, maybe 2,500 meter drive towards the zone, and then you'll have to make a decision to either stay on the main island or go towards the shooting range, because the river dividing the two places in between is a hot spot, is a hot spot in zones like these, because till the third or the fourth zone it won't even be clear which side this zone is going.
Yep.
Sometimes it goes towards the ruins and Rozok area, but most of the times what I've seen is it ends on the shooting range island. But the thing is, will the IGLs be confident enough to make that call this early on in the game? That's a question for especially the teams going on towards the northern part of the map. 3x, S2E, HellRaisers, all of these teams have to make the decision very quickly. And even S2E and HR, they'll have to fight it out. Two teams on Nova Pnoy is not at all good for either of them.
Absolutely. However, I feel like H2 and HR, these two teams won't really have to worry about going to the Northern Island at all. uh it's too soon to say this, but it seems like they're gonna be done before we even see them moving anywhere. Because see, the Novorapnoi bridge is gonna be watched by Seventh Element. They're standing right there at the other side of the bridge, and these two teams have literally underestimated 3x. They probably do not even know that 3x is taking the drop on on the military base. Here's the thing. This time I8 is in Group E, sorry. So that means this game is not being played by them. Whenever I8 is playing the game, HR and H2E, both the teams do not at all invest in going towards the military base. They choose to not drop here at all. H2E generally even goes all the way to Georgia Pool to say the least. Alright. This time they do not know that 3x, knowing that I8 is not playing, will take the military base drop, and they have chosen to go to the same place. Now, these two teams are going to fight it out among themselves, obviously, because Novorapnoy is a very tiny area and you do get to know how many teams are around you. The positioning from the side of HellRaisers as well as H2E, they do have one man sitting outside waiting to, capitalize on the ruckus that is created. But it still feels like even if a team survives here, it's not going to be with all four men. And once they start moving out of here, 3x or 7e, one of the teams will capitalize on them because the gameplay from both of these teams is very heavily, elimination dependent. It's like they get the chicken just because they eliminated as many. It doesn't seem like they're aiming for it.
Hmm. All right, H2E though, early loss for them. Tarzan completely caught off guard and was taken down. Now it's all down to Asad, Rex, and Vengeance. Let's see Vengeance is able to take the one Vengeance against the players of HellRaisers or not. But for now, it seems that they're prioritizing the loot. The thing is, the zone's already closing. 4 minutes, I don't think so. You'll get 4 minutes. You'll get a maximum of 2-minute time to get your loot completed and then rotate out of here, because then the blue zone will close out.
Absolutely.
Though the blue zone doesn't do that much damage early on in stage number 1, but it could have been viable if the zone was 1500 meters away, but not when the zone is 2500 meters away.
Absolutely, and to top it all, specifically on the loot of H2E, I noticed that they do not have many, medications available to them. A lot of players are still running with no bandages and no healing kits at all. So it seems like they might have to take a little longer to find those healings for themselves. And even if they do, it might just take away from the time that it takes to go back into the zone. And again, I do repeat myself quite a bit when talking about this, but here it is one more time for anyone who has joined new. It's not just about the health that the play zone takes away. It's also about the real estate that you do not get to capitalize on once you start moving in too late, because the other teams have already, booked their plots and started making up their buildings. They are already investing in that real estate. Once you enter in that late, there's just no much area around you to stay on, and specifically in a circle like this, which is this hard north, there's a lot of southern area which teams know is going to be the entry point for other teams, while the northern area is completely free. You do not even have to watch your back. You're like literally safe from one side completely. So a lot of teams will be capitalizing this area to actually safeguard the circle and make sure if anyone is trying to rotate in late, they can be caught off guard and they can be aimed at and shot while the blue zone is already pressurized. So that just becomes a much more difficult situation, and our teams just feel like they are being stuck between a rock and a hard place.
For now though, Adnan has decided to finally rotate off. I think 3x has spotted this rotation but decided not to say much about it. They'll continue rotation of their own. HellRaisers, Masar, Tears, whatever, Adnan. The thing is, I'd still like to look at their loot, because again they looted the small compounds. They were able to take down one of the players of H2E, but he himself did not have a lot of things to work with. He was working with a shotgun himself. So HR is not looking good in terms of loot themselves. So I'd like to see how does Team HR want to play this one out. So now some shots have been exchanged. Goku bot is down on the ground. T24 is trying to punish Zarbaf, and he's very low on HP. Tabby, only if he had some more bullets in his chamber, he could have gotten a knock there, but 3x. I think they've been pinned down to this compound.
Well, definitely they are pretty pinned down. They will have to find themselves a way out, but I don't feel like 3x is in any mood to give any good options to 7th element at all. And well, I feel like 3x is going to be using the same strat that 7th element generally uses, but 7th element is going to be a little more wiser and make sure that they do not fall prey to this. However, look at that. We already have 3 teams fighting the blue zone. It's gonna be more and more difficult with time, because again, you do not get a very clear entry into the circle through here. You cannot just find the smallest distance between you and the circle and just walk on it. You do have to take longer routes, longer rotations to make sure that you do not face other teams that are trying to squeeze in on you. So our teams are literally gonna have a hard time trying to find themselves in a circle, in a safe zone, But again, even inside the circle, the weather doesn't look like it's very pleasant. The teams are still showering bullets on each other.
That is true. That is true. They're still trying to fight it out. They're still trying to get as many elimination points as possible. Nightmare this time around has spotted the players of Magnus trying to rotate. He did see a vehicle there, or did he not? I think Magnus, they've rotated without even the player of Northeast Sports witnessing them do so. So they'll invest a little bit more time to clear that particular angle. But Magnus, they just hightailed it. They just make sure that they're not around this particular area anymore. And say number one is already closed. So I'd like to have a look at the zone as well. Would love to see where did this zone go, a bit towards the north. Because by the looks of it, Ruzok, the water city is still inside the zone. Not sure about the Ruzok main city though. Magnus, they're trying to find some safe haven in another different place. Let's see if they're able to find it out or not.
Well, MG3 light machine gun dropping down onto the ground. Is anyone gonna get their hands on it or not? Is gonna be one crucial question because it can give you a lot of advantage into the fights going in. But look at that. Oh yes, this was another thing that I forgot to tell you. North Esports has called in their veteran player now. So Snow is playing from their team. He used to be a Northeast Sports player long ago, but then he had
Okay.
taken his seat back and another player was filling in for him. But now they've swapped seats again. Nightmare has become one of the biggest eagles in the game. He has very little damage. Like, I think almost with around 700 damage, he had 9 frags. He capitalizes on any person that is being damaged by someone else and just shoots his last shots and capitalizes on it. So, well, in this game, nobody's gonna have to worry about that. Nobody's gonna have to worry about their frags getting stolen because, well, for Nightmare, it's sweet dreams.
Maybe for Snow as well. He'll have that
Yeah.
white cold light flashing in front of his eyes is what I feel. He's done. He's done. No revivals for him. Two different directions is from where Team X Generation is pinching them from. So yeah, I mean X Generation is better to let Snow bleed out. The remaining of the two players can carry forward the game in hopes of getting some
Ooh.
position points. That should be about it. Yeah. There we go. There we go. The competition for the player of X Generation. Bulls also gets another knock onto the player of Northeast. So it's all down to Maxi, whose position is already known. So X Generation, the best thing would just be to push him and take the whole squad of Northeast Sports down.
Well, absolutely. And Next Generation Alpha Boy 77, by the way, is Shahmir Boy. So we will be probably seeing great gameplay coming in from his side as well. But Thug this time is going to be the one charging in. Maxi does not have as much of, wiggle space as his name would suggest. He has very minimum wiggle space available to him right now. And that is going to be closed in as soon as possible by the players of X Generation. And well, as we had suspected long ago, 3X will be taking a fight with HellRaisers or H2E, whichever one survives the longest. And well, even the one surviving the longest just has to break their breath right here because X Generation is going to give zero chances of recovery to the players of HellRaisers. Sorry.
HellRaisers, they've been taken down one by one. X Generation, they have also lost a player in this fight, but it's all down to Arif now for Northeast Sports. And he's
Yep.
being hunted. The zone is not with him, 1300 meters, so it's basically do or die for Arif right now. The best he can do is not give the frag to X Generation. That's about it. Some nades being exchanged. Arif, the nade from Alpha Boy is very good. Might be snapping on point a bit overcooked, but the shots aren't. Alpha Boy, good shots. X Generation, the first team to eliminate Northeast Sports. Great shots coming in from them. And now let's see X Generation. How do they use this early momentum that they've gained for their advantage?
Well, absolutely, they did get an advantage in terms of elimination points, but I still feel like it was a fight that was better left alone and not meddled with because once they had 3 frags, it was quite enough and they should have started moving in towards the circle because look at this, they do not have as many healings available to themselves as they would require to actually make it as 4 men inside the circle and be able to fight it off once the teams start pushing them outside again. So yeah, those pressure situations do not look like they're gonna be serving the best interests for X Generation. But well, they chose their fight and then they will be having to live with the consequences.
Two teams eliminated, Northeast Sports and HellRaisers. HellRaisers, they needed the game though to have a good start, of the week. That's not going to be the
Yep.
case. Tough Joker sir though has been able to knock one of the players of the Grounders. Now the Grounders were not able to play the bonus match, right? They were not
Yeah.
allowed to play the bonus match because of the ranking that they had, and now they've been taken on a tour as well. So I guess TMD would be interested to, sorry, Team Tough would be interested to push in and get these frags left and right. Sad Boy also gets taken care of. So it's all down to Chosen Boy and Evil Boy to do the heavy lifting, and they're being pressured as well. Shots from everywhere on the map. Edgar M7, the two angles that these two individuals have created is just too difficult for the players of the grounders to deal with.
Absolutely. Edgar is definitely providing the much needed cover to Tough by making sure that no other team is able to go ahead and third party on them. BABLU becoming one of the crosshair spots for the side of Tough. But look at this. Evil Boy is just turning tables around. Tough is already in a lot of problems, but then Joker Sir will charge in well, way too close, and the grounders will get eliminated in no time at all. Looking at Tough, it looks like BABLU is their next enemy, but right now what they need more than this fight is the reset, because with three men you do not want to invest in a fight that's not going to work out for you. So just get everyone on their feet before they are able to kneel in front of any teams. However, 3x looks like they are going to be facing quite a bit. Zarbath is already on his knees and he has been knocked, so 3x will have to survive with two players and two players only, out of which only one can actually go ahead and contribute to a fight. Quantum Rage, they feel like they are going to be having an upper edge into this fight, but is it going to be enough? Is it going to be enough?
Oh, it's a 2v1 though,
Ooh.
alright for Mom 2, and Mom 2 does get one, but it's Senior from the back, from the cover fire. The Senior takes him down, and Quantum Rage are able to eliminate the whole squad. They've lost a player in this fight, so that is something that we'll have to work with now. 3 men standing, Spark will get that revival. Quantum Rage, they've been blessed with the circle too. 36 seconds is the time for the other teams to get inside. Team QWERTY taking some shots onto the players of Team 7th Element. T24 takes a bit of damage out to himself, but the information gained is much more valuable than the damage you've received. QWERTY, they will now be gatekept by the players of Team 7th Element, is what I feel. Since this petrol pump is a great vantage point for teams that are trying to rotate from the northern part of the map. And Tokusaurus, he's already with his aim.
Absolutely. And well, for seventh element, here's the thing. Something that I must, acknowledge. Tokusaurus is their scout, intel gathering guy. As long as he is alive, doesn't matter the team survives with 4 people or 2. They can do it. The moment he is gone, the team is done for. Doesn't matter if they have 3 people all alive. If Tokusaurus is not on the map, the team is not going to be on the leader charts. So that's just something about 7th element. So as long as Tokusaurus survives, there's still hopes, there's still, good things that can be seen for the side of 7th element. But meanwhile, we are seeing quite a few teams indulge into close quarters with each other, and this right here is why Tough has been having a tough time. No backup support, no good, player coordination going in from their side, at least not as of now, and that just shuts them down. They have gone all the way below TFD, to be very honest.
Oh, that's a good nade. That's a good nade from Top G. Those Spark just comes out on time. Comes out. The Molly hits Top G. But it's a third party, I think, from 7th element.
Yep.
Yes, it's 7th element who racks up the frag. And Quantum Rage were like, yeah, we did the heavy lifting. Just come in and steal one frag from us. And now we're trying to take our real estate as well. Here comes the push, but Spark is ready. A good knock from Spark and a nade as well to follow. Oh, this could be disastrous. This could be disastrous for the players of 7th element. Tabby, does he even know?
Whoa.
In the very last second, he moves out. Tabby though gets third party in from his own medicine. T24 the trade. A good trade there. Now let's see, it's down to Flaky as well. So it's essentially a 1v1 in this situation. The only thing is how many teams are involved in this fight. You can see Star in the background, but I don't think so they'll have a helping hand here. T24 tossing nades left and right. Same can be said for Flanky. T24's nade got the job done. What? Quantum Rage eliminated with just a nade.
Well, that they did. But again, as I was saying earlier, the fact that Tokusaurus is not going to be a part of the team anymore, for this match, 7th element will have a hard time surviving. Even if someone else had been picked off and it was just 2 players remaining, Tokusaurus could have gotten the job done. But right now, the fact that he is not here just makes me wonder if they're gonna have a shot at all. Same thing for XGeneration. XGeneration, considering that Alpha Boy 77 is the one that generally carries the weight of the team, The fact that he's not present either makes it a hard choice to go for these teams. And right now, look at the circle. Oh my
What?
god, it literally looks like a 65-35 ratio of land to water. And Team BABLU has a really good spot for themselves. If the circle supports them one more time, the game is theirs. However, the number on their team is pretty tiny. They are surviving with just 3 people, while the rest of the teams, most of them, have 4 each. And even the ones that do not, that is like XGeneration. As a team, they've been doing good. They have 8 eliminations to their name already, while Seventh Element has 6. Oh my god, that's quite a few.
I do remember one of the zones in this region, in the region of Pakistan, ending in water. Will we
Ah,
see another one? Will we see another one? Destroyer trying to destroy black, but he'll be able to escape without without taking any sort of damage. Team negatives, though, the only positive for them right now is the number of players that they have. Zibian dodging the nade, but will he be able to dodge the flare? Pinkman has dealt a lot of
wow.
damage, but the nades from his own teammate. And then the clutch comes in. Maybe because Buzzard is getting those frags left and right.
Well, absolutely. Buzzard is serving exactly what he was trying to dish out, and with that damage on the plates, it feels like they are aiming for the chicken. With all 4 men alive, being one of the only 2 teams with that man count, a lot of advantage definitely is towards the side of negatives. But look at that! That need is gonna shut down 2 people at once. And Buzzard is not even going to survive any further. XGeneration already up there with double-digit frags. The team is getting back in position right now. But at the same time, the fight between Magnus and negatives, it's only and only digging up graves for both the teams. Nowhere to get out of. Both of the teams have already dug themselves 6 deep in. Now all that's left to sit inside it and bury themselves.
My god, negatives, they had such a great upper hand in that particular fight, but it all went down because of the Buzz's nade. Buzzard throws a nade on his own teammate Pinkman. Pinkman was able to he got that knock onto the player lying outside. But a nade comes in from his own teammates, and then both of these players are just dead. That's just unfortunate. And now Magnus, the remaining 2 players, they're gunning for points. That's about it. They're gunning for the placement points, and they'll have as many as they can. Freestyle on the other hand, all 4 players alive, but the thing is only 1 frag to their name. Zen, is he spotted? The nade! Oh, wasn't cooked properly, but the nade from Zen was, and he gets that knock onto Malik. Drop shot and Fezia stuck on the first floor, and Malik will be burned to his death as well. So Magnus, great job in terms of finding the opening frag. Let's see if they're able to close out this fight against Freestyle.
Well, right now it seems like Freestyle is turning all the way into ashes, and these ashes are just not gonna stand there tall enough to give any positive feedback to Freestyles. Right now, just 3 of the players surviving. However, on the other side, Magnus has only 2 and just 1 frag to their name. But the way the fire is getting lit in both of these buildings, it seems like we're watching Lanka burn. Oh well, there it is. There it is. The immunity is going out. Both the teams are gonna have to go ahead and take this fight right head on. Make sure that they do not waste any time. And well, there it
the
is. Exactly
DBS.
what Drop Shot is gonna do. Shutting down Magnus Esports. Okay, Freestylers, I see you've come back into the game. Your entry has been announced.
Although the perfect team right now is gonna be the players of XGeneration. Look at the number of frags that they have. 12 frags, still 3 players standing, and they're making a run for the zone as well. Reviews is able to take care of a player of Freestyle. This definitely will help the players of XGeneration a lot. Freestyle, they were the ones who could have hindered their rotation. And now let's see if XGeneration is able to go through them or not. Another team that will be in front of them is going to be the players of Team Negatives. And XGeneration, I don't think so, will be shy to just go knocking on their door and get those frags for themselves. Shahid has spotted one of the players. I think Brown Boy is on his crosshair. He can stand up and try to deliver a frag, but decides to just back off instead. Wants to play it safe, and that's a good decision considering Negatives is left with just 2 players standing. XGeneration, they have a fair idea. Shaheen has been tagged quite a bit, and Guru Boy is subjected to a nade. But the nade bounces and tags Shahir up to very little HP, and Shahir goes down to Brown Boy's nade. Guru Boy is burning as well. The molly did connect, and Guru Boy will survive for now. but that could be the opening that XGeneration needed.
Absolutely. However, I feel like even though I desperately want XGeneration to have a chicken for themselves, if they do not take care of at least one player from the side of BABLU already, it's gonna be a hard fight because again, Team BABLU has been a little more passive in this fight compared to XGeneration, and their positions are completely revealed. While the team Bablu, their players are still gonna be hard to fight. So once the fights start happening, at least among these four teams, Team Negatives and Team Freestylers, obviously X Generation will be able to take care of the two. But while they are invested in these fights, Bablu might just be able to capitalize on every single thing that's going on. And well, this time I'm gonna be very happy to say that every single person from the side of X Generation has stepped up. It's not a single person lopsided scoreline that we're seeing. We literally have like almost equal number of frags from every single player, and that's impressive.
Bulsage, great frag from this particular person as well. Another frag to their name, XGeneration. Even if they don't end up out on top, I think they'll be on top because of the number of eliminations that they have. Bablu with
Absolutely.
7, still just sitting around the shore. So the thing you're saying is correct, Tahana. That if the zone again goes towards them, which I think has a high probability of, they will have the chicken. The thing is how many frags they can feast on before the chicken they get. That would
Yeah.
be an important question. Reviews is a bit low on the ammo. 556 bullets are scarce in this particular map. Towards the end zone is what I think. Dulsage needs to move 4 meters inside the zone, but he's taking his sweet time. A molly being tossed onto black as well. Tabby though gets knocked out. And X Generation's Pulsage has a very cheeky gap to play inside of.
Absolutely, and he is gonna have to stick to that one because if he does make himself present inside the circle by going off through the roof, reviews is gonna take him off the map. So that's just a very risky spot, and I am very happy seeing the mind games being on point from the side of X Generation, making sure that they are taking every care of themselves while walking into these fights. And I think something that really inspired that is the fact that Shamir Boy is not even in the game, because while he is alive, the rest of the team literally chills around and does not take as much care of their own bodies and just lies down on the ground for the life of Shamir Boy. But right now, the fact that he is not here just made the whole team much more cautious. With 13 frags, if this team does not get the chicken, I'll be upset because they have been very well performing for the first week. They did scatter a little towards the end of it, but they were doing really good, and I really want to see them make the best of it and get the chicken to themselves. However, for now, four teams survive.
Ooh.
Actually, three teams and a guy survive. Because
From
from the
team
side of
negatives.
negative, exactly,
Mhm.
it's only Guru Boy. We do have expectations from Guru Boy going forward because he did make sure he shows up his names in the top players quite a few times. So we might see great things coming from him, but it still feels like the other three teams have a much better chance, not only because of the man count, but because of the gameplay that we've seen from these teams for a while. And right now, the team that is going to have the most struggle filled journey forward is X Generation, because their position, again, is going to be much easier to spot than that of Team Bablu and Seventh Element. Team
More than
Bablu is
team.
greatly in cover,
Mhm.
greatly.
I'd say more than Team Bablu or Seventh Element, I'd say Negative Guru Boy is a big threat to the players of X Generation. Because they don't know
Okay.
about him, right? Tag, if he tries
Yeah.
to rotate,
Oh, they
okay,
do.
they know. Alright, I thought Tag, if he tries to rotate and he's caught off by Guru Boy, that could have been very difficult for them to deal with. But yeah, Brown Boy has that information, gets that track. But X Generation, Sagai and Thug, both of the players go down at the same time, and it's all down to Brown Boy now.
Absolutely. Just as expected, X Generation is definitely having a hard time moving back in. And again, if it goes down to just 7th Element and Bablu, I do not know who to call for, because I would have said a 7th Element even if it was just two players, if one of them was Tokusaurus, because we know what he does. He just takes his vehicle, runs around the whole area, scouts the whole area, lets T24 OP know where people are, and makes him direct his, gun to the right direction. So that's exactly what I am expecting to happen again. I am expecting Tabby to fill in for the shoes of Tokusaurus, and considering the fact that this is literally a plain land, there is nothing that one can do about it. He could literally go ahead and ride his vehicle right over the players of Babu if need be. But right
Oh,
now, this fight
Seventh
will have
Element.
to come to an end. Yeah.
Seventh Element do want a piece of the cake as well. They want to chip down the players of Bablu. so that the fight could be even for them. Brown Boy could play a role in that, but the thing is, Brown Boy, he's being kept tabs on from the players of BABLU. Pikachu is just sitting in a smoke vehicle and try to use the third person perspective to its full use. Brown Boy, I think he also needs to move inside the zone as well, and he needs to cross the road or at least come near to it, and that will give BABLU some information, some piece of information on this last remaining player of XGeneration. And there we go. I think Brown Boy spotted down reviews. He's just waiting. He's just waiting for the zone to do its job. But it's T24 from the other side who gets that knock. Now BABLU is in pressure.
Wow.
Because getting that revival is not going to be easy at all on reviews. And T24, I think, is doing the same job. He's thinking the vehicle not entirely onto his opponent, but tries to make that L-shaped cover with the rock in front of it. I think XGeneration also got eliminated in the process because
Yep.
I just see 2 teams remaining. So it's a 2v2 right now. 7th Element have a winning chance here.
Absolutely, and if they do, we are going to be able to announce it without any doubts that Seventh Element are the kings, are the uncontested kings of Erangel, because this is going to be their third Erangel victory, nonetheless. And I mean, we hardly have teams that have 3 victories altogether. Then seeing one which has 3 on Erangel itself and then 2 others, that's just going to be huge. And I mean, this might be their chance to again go back on top of leaderboards, but let's see the number of frags, whether it supports them well enough or not, because it does not seem to be as impressive as that of XGeneration. Gotta say that out loud to make it believable, because already I think they have 15 to 16 frags to their name already, which is huge. And okay, that nade was great. It did not make its way to the right point, but it did give away a lot of positional information. But look at that. T24 OP making the best of his position. Already has Pikachu so down low that it's not gonna be a hard fight. No, don't stand and run.
And that's a knock. That's the knock that 7th Element was looking for. Now comes out the vehicle. How do you deal with T24?
Crashy,
That
crashy.
is the most important thing. The answer is you
Points.
cannot. Because 7th Element, they've just sniffed out a chicken dinner out of 2 teams who were looking very competent to have it. XGeneration, big no. BABLU, big no. It's 7th element with just 2 players remaining. They grabbed that WWCD.
They did, they very well did, and I mean, come on. Can we just go ahead and say it now? Seventh Element rules Erangel. They rule the leaderboard. They rule everything that's in their way. So let's just see. Seventh Element, I'm gonna wait for your 7th victory. You already have 5 in your bags. 2 more to go. Good enough. And well, oh my god, okay. The eliminations weren't as little either. They have 11 to their name, 21 total points. Gonna be a great jump, and as expected, they are on first overall ranking one more time. And I have no idea for how long they're gonna stay there, because they generally like to make their homes stay in inertia and have a big time up there. However, we'll come back with post-match analysis in just a jiffy. Don't go anywhere. Can I hear an I for 7th Element?
No, you cannot. I'll not say it because your predictions are going on point again and again, Hana. This is wrong. This is wrong. How much money did 7th Element pay you? I don't know how much, but that's just wrong. Another prediction. I thought that as soon as I left, your predictions would just go wrong. But as soon as I'm back, they're back on track.
They were right even when you weren't here. You just did not get to see them, and you're trying to console
Okay.
yourself by saying they were wrong. But
Okay.
but anyways, again, it's not about me or anybody else. It's about 7th
Mhm.
Element. So can I hear an I for the team?
Yes, now you can hear I. But
Let's go.
7th Element, the way they played, man, I did not completely count them out, but the odds were heavily against them to win this match. They were not in a good position. They could have been shot from either of the teams, BABLU or XGeneration. Even I'd say the last remaining player of Negative could have played a very negative role in their performance, but it just did not happen. And somehow 7th Element just came out on top.
Absolutely. Well, that's exactly what seventh element does. I mean, they should be the first element. Which is
Oh
the
yeah,
first
maybe.
element? Hydrogen? Hydrogen.
Too
Anyways,
bad. Hmm.
the first position player, however, for the day is Thug, with 5 eliminations to his name. And, well, he does survive long. His average survival time is also very, very close to his current survival time. So that's great. But yeah, the guy, he has dealt quite a lot of damage considering he only got 5 eliminations.
He did, and he even had a lot of utility damage to say the least on the players
Yep.
of team negatives. He was able to set up that knock onto Guru Boy as well. I think he was the one holding that particular angle to make sure that Guru Boy is not allowed any heroics in his performance. So he holds those angles. He's good on utility as well. He's a complete teammate, is what I felt. And
Yep.
you need players like those. And Guru, the player of X Generation is stepping up. Thug just stepping up big time and is able to have that MVP stat as well. But there were some more players in the game who impressed us, and those were T24, Review,
Oh
Spark, and
my
Psycho
my.
from X Generation as well.
Oh my my. 8 eliminations to T24 OP alone. The damage is pretty low. Good eliminations.
Thug gets the damage, T24 gets the frag, is what I felt. Look at that.
Yes.
1200 damage for Thug. T24, yeah, I don't do that much damage, I just finish the frags. That's
Yep.
that's what this guy has done, and he's done it in a great fashion as well. Even reviews would be very angry right now. Almost 1,000 damage, just 5 eliminations to his name. So even Team BABLU had good number of eliminations. So points
Yep.
will be there for all of these teams, but it'll be seventh element, I think, on the top.
Absolutely. However, the second follower up is gonna be X Generation nonetheless. And look at that, the whole board is capitalized by them. Thug has the highest damage, Thug has the highest assists, and Alpha Boy 77, that is Shamir Boy, has great number of healing done. Did you switch roles or something?
I think it did happen. I really think it just did happen because somehow this is the very first. Okay, not the first time. I thought all of the players were from the same team, but yeah, X Generation has three.
Yeah.
T24 just spoiling the sport there, spoiling the charts over there with the seventh element logo. But yeah, I mean, it's all good. It's all good from T24. He just does that, gets those frag for his team, and uh, is on the top right now.
Absolutely. And I think the secret to their victory is T24 because he's doing some sort of jutsu right there with his hands. And I feel like that's working out pretty well. Right there, literally 1 point difference. Even if X Generation was able to survive just a little bit longer, even if Team BABLU had been eliminated just a little bit sooner, they would have literally been on equal standings with 7th element, and that would have been great to watch. However, great performance from all of these teams. And well, talking about performance and teams, not about grade though, we have some more.
Star with just three. I mean, you don't want these points on your against your name. 3 points is very, I'd say, bare minimum points. This is something you show
That's not.
existence with. I mean, Star getting three, at least you existed. Unlike the teams of Faulty Devil, S2E Grounders, and North Esports, who were like, yeah, even if we did not play the game, we'd have the same result of 0 points.
Absolutely. It's like they literally just logged into the lobby and went to sleep. And it makes sense for North Esports because one of their players is called Nightmare.
Ah, yep, it does. It does. I mean, great wordplay there, Ahana.
I
Nightmare
know,
went
right?
to
Thank
sleep.
you.
All right, but yeah,
I even
North
said that when he
Esports.
died. I was like, Nightmare, sweet dreams.
Hmm. Hmm. I think he did not have those sweet dreams though because his team was struggling quite a bit. And North Esports is one of
Ouch.
those teams who I think performed a bit better
Yep.
when I was not there on the desk. So they'll definitely want first of all to kick me off to off the desk so
You're
that
their bad
they're able
omen.
to maybe that's true. I've been a bad woman for multiple different teams. But yeah, let's talk about performance, not esports. A fight that they shouldn't have taken early on is what I felt.
Absolutely. I mean, Nightmare is great at just spotting people who are already taking a lot of damage and capitalizing
Hmm.
on them. He should have stuck to his job. The addition of Snow did not work out as well as we were expecting it to. It's still gonna take him a couple of minutes to be in a
Yes.
position where he's able to IGL the current roster. So that's something. And well, in the end, again, it's not gonna ever be just a couple of players trying to pull the whole team through. I
Hmm.
mean, okay, here's the thing. Ask me about the players of North Esports. There's only 2 that I even know the names of. So,
Oh,
absolutely,
okay.
the other 2 are doing something wrong. There's a reason their names are not even in our memories. Do you remember them?
No, only RF
Yeah,
and Nightmare. That's about it.
exactly. So that's something. Like, if your names are something we cannot recollect instantly, that means that you're either dying way too soon or
Mm-hmm.
not having enough frags even after surviving long enough. Because we do capture names way too quickly, but then the fact that yours isn't in our memory means we did not get to see it as often. So maybe step up a little, maybe show us your names in the elimination feeds, in the top
Yes.
players, somewhere or the other. Once it starts popping up, we will know that you exist, we will know that you're making good. Like, I still remember players of Team Negatives, even though the team hasn't done way too well for
Mm-hmm.
themselves. The individual players did perform quite well. We know Pinkman, we know Guru Boy, we know quite a few. But like, yes. Do you
The
want to
next
talk about
game.
this? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The next game, though. The map of Miramar and Group D sitting out. Now, we've seen a lot of Miramars. We've seen different winners. And I think the first chicken for 7th Element came on this map of Miramar. So, for them, it is a very, very sweet, sweet map. But the thing is, I've not seen a lot of bolt action rifle being used by all of these teams, for which I'm very disheartened. I mean, I love those rifles, man. Come on, one shot, headshot, you get that knock. Why aren't you using it? Because now
See,
even level 3 helmets are very, very rare to find. And those level 2s can be just popped with one bullet. Even I'd be happy even if you use a Winchester. That's not even a bolt action rifle. That's just barely a rifle too. But I'd be happy. I'd be happy to see a sniper. Not those minis and SKS which you just can't constantly shoot, bug, bob, bob, and they do like very little damage on long range. I need those bolt action rifles as well. But yeah, I
which is
mean,
your
teams are
favorite?
not comfortable with it. That's why they're not picking it up.
Which is your favorite bolt
My
action
favorite
rifle?
is M24, that too silenced. Hana,
Ah,
trust me, it is my wake up alarm.
okay.
That
Tell me
is
never to tell, like, remind me never to be around you.
in the mornings.
Ah,
Yeah, it is a very soothing sound. It is a very soothing sound, and it's super satisfying when you get a knock. It's just super satisfying. You're like, yeah, I'll just enjoy the knock that I've got and even not convert it into a frag.
I'll just.
That's the soothness that the suppressed
Mhm.
M4 gives you when you hit that headshot.
This reminds me of an incident from my life. So while the players are still trying to find the places they want to be at, let me quickly give you a little peek into my life. But before that, yes, the plane path is going all the way from northwest to southwest to northeast, and that's it. It's centralized. People are going to be able to go wherever they want to go, and yes, going back into my life. So yeah, uh, I was studying in the States for a while, right? So I was in
Okay.
New York. We had English
Mhm.
class, and I was a little bit late to reach class because that's who I am, always late. Because I'm a snake and I crawl my way in, so I'm never on time. So yeah, I forgot to silence my phone. All right, I entered the class and I got a text message, and the whole class started looking at me as if I was gonna be someone who's gonna bomb the whole place out. Let me tell you why. Because my message ringtone was a line from a game, and the line is, "You don't have to worry about grenades now."
Oh.
It was so bad. Everyone was looking at me, and I'm just trying to look
Uh-huh.
back at everyone, and I'm like, I don't have anything on me. I'm not doing anything. It's just my phone. That wasn't even my real voice. I'm just trying to defend myself so much, right? That it was funny, it was hilarious, it was embarrassing, and my teacher just kept looking at me for a few seconds, and her emotions changed all the way from scared, suspicious, okay, it was a joke, fine, I find it funny now. it was
All
it was
right.
all through the spectrum.
You did not take the most out of it. The you could have asked for better grades or something.
Okay,
Yeah, man.
so
Coming
here's the
back to the
thing, in
game.
English I did have the best grades, so I didn't
Ah,
have to
okay.
use that leverage. Or
All
maybe
right.
I
All
did
right.
use that leverage, I don't know.
You won't tell us though, na? That's the thing. You won't tell us now how did you get those good grades. But yes, yes. Coming back to the game. Look at the zone once again. What's the love with water here, Ahana? Game number 1, all the way towards 7, he still has a lot of water in it. Now, game number 2, this time, even on Miramar, Puerto Paris support is completely inside. This is a very, very rare zone that forms. And again, in the region of Pakistan, it has once happened on the map of Miramar, where we
Oh,
had Puerto Pariso port, or should I say, beach, being the center of the zone for a very long period of time, and then the zone finally finishing off in water.
mm-hmm.
Man,
Well,
this
let's
region has
see.
had a lot of weird zones lately.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how this one goes. But I would like to take this moment to say something which might sound funny, might sound unrelated, but it's still important. So pay attention. The game is indirectly trying to inform us to stay hydrated, guys. Please stay hydrated. Do make sure you're taking in enough water because right now, specifically in India, specifically, and I think if it's in India, then it's everywhere in the Indian subcontinent, which includes Pakistan as well. A lot of people are falling sick because of dehydration. It's just become an epidemic or something. I have been hearing way too many reports of people not being able to, survive through the day just because of not having enough water. And I don't mean survive as in like not survive at all. I just mean they're falling sick. So like yeah, please stay hydrated. The game is trying to tell you this. I am trying to tell you this. And pass
Mhm.
me water, please.
In negative zone, then they're not very attracted to water. They're more towards the land people, and they're trying to loot off on these barn areas. Not the best possible loot. I just see an SLR for Bazet here. No West as well to work with. So yeah, man, early stages, the zone number one is already started to shrink in. Team Negatives is a very, I'd say, a very weird drop where they're looting compounds completely in the open. No, no major cities nearby. I think they're just opting out from major cities because they do not want those drop clashes. But I think still somehow 3x is finding a way to come towards the players of Team Negatives. So this could really go very negative if the weaponry that Team X has is a bit better. But yeah, rotations they do change here for 3x. They're going their own way. Talking about the players of Team QWERTY as well in a city. So yeah, all of these teams have started looting early on. The thing is, I'd like to see which team has went to Los Leones and is able to make the most out of that particular place.
Well, I guess the fact that this is not the first match anymore, it's the second one, and Group E is in it. I feel like Agonex I8 is gonna be mastering the Los Leones area and looting everything around there, including water. Stay hydrated. I said it again because yeah, even I am not staying hydrated. It has caused me a lot of problems. But like yes, 3x freestylers again. I feel like 3x is literally aiming to grab as many frags as possible, and on purpose is trying to go to spots where they would find teams which stand lesser chance against them because 3x generally does not drop on the same location, specifically on the map of Miramar. So we are saying that come into play. We are seeing that change the way the game strats work for these teams. Negatives and Team Star both have decided mutually to go to the same location, and for once, Team Negatives beats Team Star, while the third party advantage goes to Agonex I8 and 3x.
Pyro is trying to take some shots. He's also trying to deal some set damage to the players of Team Negatives. Their vehicles are being targeted as well. But yeah, good thing for Team Negatives. You got the two frags onto the players of Team Star and even did not get even a single knock on yourself, even from a third party. So that's a very big positive, I'll say, for this particular team. A good start. Even Freestyle is here to have a say in this particular fight. Pink, man, he's testing his luck out, man. He's very low on HP, still trying to be all out in the open, trying to rotate, trying to find those meds. A very lucky guy, I'd say, because the shot did not connect, and now Pinkman resetting himself, getting back for getting ready for the action that has to come up front. 3x though, my question from all of these fighting early on, Hana, is when do you prioritize your loot and when do you have enough healings, enough utility to work in the final zone? Because even if with this loot you're able to reach the final zone, very less chance you'll have to convert it into a chicken because of the loot that you have.
Absolutely. I do feel like they do have to be very adaptable with the loot. They have to start off with whatever they have in hand and then eventually pick up a few, body crates and then start collecting from there as well. However, I feel like if you have been able to beat them up, then there's a good chance that they did not have as equal or a more advantageous loot than you did. But still, I don't know. Sometimes it's just the skill. But yeah, I do feel like there's a lot of changes that are happening in the map of Miramar. we did see it go all the way from completely strategically planned to not planned at all game. And yeah, team negatives, team star, they have decided now to make sure that on Miramar at least they do fall right onto each other, and team negatives have started making the best of it. But yeah, I do gotta mention one thing, it's been eating me up. I used to like the colors as they were in week 1, because at that time team negatives was pink and a
Okay.
player in their team is pink man, so it made so much sense.
But now it doesn't, huh?
Yeah, now it doesn't. Now it's chaos. My brain cannot relate.
All
It's
right, but
lagging.
look at the zone. Look at the hardships that it's
Oh,
creating. What? See, Hannah. I'd say a hypothetical situation. The zone finally forms on the little island that there is.
ooh.
How how interesting would it be for all these teams to just swim and see who swims the fastest to land to secure the land and then fire first? My God,
Whoa.
won't it be interesting?
It will be
QWERTY though.
quite interesting, yes.
QWERTY though, top G, out of the game, top Wolverine in Voltrax. Try to keep the players of Team 7th Element, and they've been able to dish out a lot of damage. Almost securing, almost securing a knock, but now Eagle not being able to hit any more bullets from 141. 7th Element, they'll make sure all of their 4 players stay alive.
Well, I feel like their name isn't 141, it's like 1 for 1, as in like will trade off all the frags that happen on us. But even if it is that, they have not been able to do it, so I guess it doesn't matter. And look at that. Eagle already picked up. So it's already 2 gone for the side of 141 with 0 frags to their name. Yeah, as I said, it's not making sense still. I just shouldn't have gone into that math. But yeah,
Freestyle.
yes, freestyle. Yes.
They
Freestyle
are in the
literally
fight.
plays in freestyle.
That they do, that they do. And look at this. They've caught one of the players completely off guard. Cairo is in a very difficult situation. Though he'll be provided with some cover fire. Zarbaf, he's been third partied from behind and he did not even note in the very last second. I mean, 2 headshots could have done the job, but they do not land, and now 3x. They'll have to make a decision here. How do they get Cairo back? Because that should be priority number 1. One of your players is in the enemy lines, but it seems like freestyle, they do not want a part of it. They just want to rotate off. They're waiting for zone number 2 to close, and as soon as it does, they'll prioritize the zone, rotate out as quickly as possible. Black, he is still trying to make sure that the compound is under their control. Little do they know that Cairo is still sticking around the corner.
Well, Cairo does have a much further, location than the rest of the team. They will be able to create a lot of deception here, and freestylers might just have to suffer the wrath of the secret hidden agent from the side of the TX, that is Cairo. And well, he is moving forwards bit by bit, and so is the rest of the team. Once they do make their move in, I feel like if a couple of players moved from the upper side of the ridge, they would be able to do much better. And well, I do see a vehicle going in from there. No comeback is gonna make sure that he follows through from the top side. Drop shot has already been dropped dead, but the other player from the side of freestyle is just gonna be able to make his way out of here into safety. But for how long? You do not have enough players in your side to actually cover for you. So let's see. 3x still on the lookout for them. Not gonna leave any stone unturned. Specifically talking about Miramar.
Hey, talking about Star as well. The remaining 2 players, they're still trying to survive. Miracle and Zyro J. Let's see though for how long can they be in this position. 400 meters to rotate. They're hearing a lot of rotation. They're seeing a lot of rotations around them. So they have to be very careful with the rotation of their own. Where do they go? Because they also have to move 400 meters to enter the play zone. And another question that I have, do they have a vehicle here to help them rotate, or is it on foot? Because if you're on foot, you're a walking target for all the snipers across. No, wait a minute, let me correct it. All the DMRs specialists around the corner. Because we again are not seeing any Khan 88s or M24s being used. So yeah, I8 though, are they going there intentionally? I think they are, right? He's in a lot of trouble.
Whoa.
And the vehicle blast will take him off the vehicle. A frag to the name of I8. H2E. They did stop there. I don't know why they did not stand their ground. because they had an advantage with I8 first had to stop and then try to shoot them out of the vehicles. But H2E a bit too passive of a game. As soon as you see a team, you run rather than defending your position, and they lose two players because of it.
Absolutely. Not only are they losing their players, they're also losing, real estate control. Because again, even though it's a battle royale, you do want to have more and more area under your control to make sure that you're able to rotate whenever you want, the way you want, and on your own terms. Not just because another team is trying to push you out of there. And look at this. One team leaves, the other one comes on to feast onto this very vulnerable team that is H2E. Tarzan is right now going to be in the crosshairs for Nightmare. And it feels like he's a little bit indecisive as well for this fight. I don't know. They just want to run away. Excuse me, knock knock. Do you know you're playing a battle royale and not a racing game?
Don't know, even Asad is not supporting him. I'm not sure why. He should have at least left the spot and tried to cover for him and shoot on the players that he was trying to work with. But yeah, Asad now being spotted as well. Snow is in a battle. A very important one because Snow is all alone, so he cannot afford to lose this fight. The backup is arriving in the form of RF and Maxi. The shots finally land and Snow is able to get the knock. It's all down to Tarzan in a 1v3.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how Tarzan fights this fight of the jungle, because this one does not have enough trees or enough, greenery around him either. So how many swings is he gonna be able to make in this one? We'll see. Right now it seems like he's just gonna take to the water route, but that's not gonna stay long either, because look at Nightmare. Again, the guy with the eagle eyes is literally stuck to finding the fish in the water. Hello, Little Mermaid. There's 4 nasty hunters trying to look for you. The moment he steps out of water, he'll step out of the map. How long can he survive? He has to breathe as well. Oh
Okay,
my god, did I
Maxi.
just see it? Yeah, he just walked
Yes.
in.
He just wants the frags so bad. Although 52 Esports also wants some frags to their name. They've got 2, and now they're taking care of the rest of the Regicide's player. They're being bombarded, they're being naded. Regicide is in a bit of trouble because even HellRaisers are coming on there behind their back. So yeah, it's a very difficult situation for Regicide. All in the open with just a bit of cover from these fake smokes that will fade away within 10 seconds remaining. But yeah, you also need to move inside the zone. So 52 Esports, they have that upper hand, but let's see how many frags they're able to convert in this position.
Well, we'll see how the conversion goes for the teams, because currently it seems like it's just but then if we compare it to all the other teams, it's better. It's good. But then again, 52 Esports, I've seen this thing about the team. They do survive long. They do make sure that they're in the game for a while. They are able to collect position points quite a bit these days. But then when it comes to frags, they aren't able to. One time Choto did solo survivingly made sure that the team acquired quite a few position points that put them on a total of 7 along with the frag points that were there. So that was great. But yeah, overall the team is not performing as they are expected to in a competition like this. But look at that, Regicide, one of the well performers, one of the ones that have actually made their way forward, does get completely eliminated by the same team that I was currently saying isn't giving us much to live by.
3x though, they're in a fight with Freestyle. Freestyle is defending a compound, so they'll be subjected to some nades. Zarbuff, will he stream on it though is the question. I don't think so, because they've taken some nade damage onto themselves but have dished out nothing onto Freestyle. Freestyle just trying to smoke all these choke points from which the nades could enter. A counter nade as well from their side, but deals no damage. Black just closes the door on Cairo. And Cairo's face to be exact. From Cairo, the support comes in, he gets it off. The trade is there as well, but Freestyle, they go down one by one. They've lost all of their players and have been eliminated on rank 11.
Well, one more elimination. No, actually, sorry. 2 more eliminations, and then our players will start collecting placement points. But 3x still standing with all 4 men is scary. It's very scary. However, Magnus again is going to be a very equal competitor to the same fight. I am expecting something from the side of Eliminate side and 7th element as well. Okay, so here's the thing. We have 5 teams surviving on all 4s. all 5 of these teams have displayed great potential and great gameplays. We have 3 teams surviving with less than that, and none of these teams have acquired any chickens at all. So you're not only at a disadvantage, you're at a disadvantage of a disadvantage of a disadvantage. So
Disadvantage
yeah,
to
and
the different teams.
exactly. And in this position, 2 negatives do not make it possible. So you're just gonna be struggling. So let's see whose struggle ends first and becomes misery altogether.
Put Team Negative's name on the list as well, because they've been
Yeah.
eliminated out of the game by the players of 52 nonetheless. So 52, even with 2 players, they had the confidence to just push in onto a team and eliminate them. So that's a great thing, I think, because just one of the players was remaining from Team Negatives. 4-4. He's trying to just dodge Drolin in this situation. And Drolin with very little HP left gets taken down, and no comeback, leaves no time to secure that frag as well. So 52 Esports a little bit of a help. 4-4 can really now use these crates, loot them up, and then try to rotate inside the zone. On the other hand, North Esports is also in a lot of trouble. Falak, he gets taken down, but now Ghost is trying to take RF with him as well. Aegon Excited in a bit of trouble. 2 of their players are down, but now with RF being dead, the revivals can come. And I8 with 7 frags to their name.
Absolutely, I8 and 3x look really good with the number of frags on their names. It's actually gonna be a great fight between the 2 of these teams. However, 7th Element, right after a great game from their side, we're gonna be seeing them running a little low on the frag numbers, so a fueling needs to be done on that side. But other than that, they're looking good. They have all of their players. It's a great map. They do have great positions on the map as well, so it's just gonna be a lot of benefits coming in for them, for their side. Magnus Esports running on a one-man loss, but still not too big to fight out of, because like they can definitely make their way through even with 3 men, as long as all 3 survive, because 2 just becomes a little too less. 1-for-1, I don't have hopes. If you do impress me, I'ma be happy, I'ma be glad, I'ma celebrate for you, but right now I do not have hopes for you. And 52 Esports, I feel like they will be able to make themselves quite some survival, but I don't feel like the GP Esports. They are gonna have to go back to lobby hungry this time.
Let's see if all these predictions do fall on correct as they have in the previous few games, I'd say. I really don't hope. I really do hope it doesn't in this one, though.
Well,
To be honest, I mean, come on, too many predictions. That really means you're ranking the lobby up. That's
I'm
what
not
I.
ranking the lobby. I'm just reading the lobby.
Hey,
really
then
well.
how? No, a battle royale cannot be read. That's the beauty of it. But somehow
See,
you
that's
are.
the thing. See, that's the thing. If you have studied math for way too long, I'm literally one person. If I used to get mad at anything, my family just used to hand me math formulas, and looking at them, I would find peace. Okay, so I'm that person. I do that much math, and according to math, you can literally find pattern in every single thing. I mean, that's just it. That's just it. I'm not even gonna try to defend myself on this one.
Alright. Well, let's see. For now, the defending has to be done by 3x Esports. They're being shot upon
Yes.
by the players of I8. Bruce is trying to get any damage that he can. He sees a lot of snakes out there, but that is, I think, just because the graphic quality he's playing on. He's just trying to shoot under the vehicle from such a far, away position that it won't really practically make sense. Aiku, though, is very close to the players of Team I8 if you look at the very southern part of the minimap.
Yep.
A few purple dots, Aiku all alone, just I think relaying information to the remaining players of I8. And I8
Yep.
having such a wide split, Falak all alone, Aiku all alone, 2 Goose and Userdem, they're sticking together, but they have the highest possible ground in the game now. So I8, they're really looking strong right now. The position that they have will help them have a vantage point on all of these teams. And then again, they all will fight against each other because I8 is on a different side of the particular road. So you cannot
That's true.
get a knock on I8 and then try to push in. It has to happen between either Magnus 1-for-1, 7th Element, or even the players of 3x Esports. So yeah, I mean, I8 do find themselves in a very comfortable situation. Let's see if they're able to make the most out of it or not. But for now, 52 Esports, they might just have lost another player. Hassan is down on the ground, and I do not see any intention from his teammate to... Okay, he just ran. He just straight away ran for the revival. So they'll be able to get back into the game. But my question is it even worth it? Will the zone even allow you to get that revival? 52 Esports, I think they just made a blunder trying to get that revival off.
Well, I'm not sure if that blunder is actually one because I don't feel like it's anyways gonna be a long survival time for them. However, but here's what I think is gonna happen. Seventh element will take a fight with 141. 141 will get crushed. Seventh element will take damage from the side of Magnus, and seventh element will be in a lot of trouble. However, Magnus's attention will then be captured by IA because they want to get a piece of this. And once that starts happening, we will see 3x get into the mix as well. Now, because 7th element is at a very western range, the fight will start initiating between these three teams, that is 3x, Agon XI8, and Magnus. And once that becomes a big establishing point, that's when Tokusaurus will go ahead and do his thing. Take his vehicle, run around everywhere, collect all the information, get the other players to take the frags. That's what I think will happen. And obviously, in the meanwhile of all of this, we will see 52 and 141 go back home because this is not a numbers game.
Give me the time machine that you have, Ahana. Just give it to me. I just want it. I just want to do so many things to so many people in the past that you cannot even imagine. But right now, I8, username is down on the ground. The revival will come into the play because I don't think so I8 will have any problem. There are many players that can facilitate that revival. All of these teams have taken small corners of a circle. If that's possible, I don't think so mathematically it is. But look at this. They just distributed around the whole circle, around the whole circumference, and it's just Magnus who has a compound. But I think as soon as they decide to leave it, they're dead because they're surrounded by 4 different teams and are on the lower ground as well. 7th element though, Tabby has been taken care of. There's the knock. He is hiding behind the ridge, so if a revival is possible, but then you need to sacrifice a position as well as a vehicle to get that revival. Now the question is it worth it to get Tabby back on his feet? I don't think so because I don't see any interest from the players of Team 7th element to get that revival.
Well, absolutely. 52 Esports is gonna be in a lot of trouble. Just one player surviving, but good number of frags overall. So great for them. But wait a second, that just seems like it's gonna be very difficult. Now that Agon XI8 has taken a piece of this one, I felt like they would be taking a piece from Magnus. But still, after going all the way out of the circle, they're trying to fight it off with 7th element. They just takes away from all the derivation that I had about the two teams. Now you would have to replace Magnus with 7th element all across the prediction that I made. However, Fofo, okay, no comeback. Come on, this is literally now getting rude. Like Fofo is literally surviving alone, and no comeback is giving him no room to go anywhere. And wait a second, did he just take him down? Is 3x having 3 people knocked?
It is.
Whoa.
Oh, and Montu's getting third partied as well. Oh, these shots, they did connect, and Montu is very low on HP. Only Fofo knew about it. I think he did because he's able to take down Zarbaf. No comeback is also down on the ground, and Montu, his primary focus right now is to eliminate Fofo and not to get that revival onto Zarbaf. I don't know what has just happened, but it's 3x down in the dumpster. It's just Montu.
Whoa.
But a third party from 141 will take down Fofo, and this information should be relayed. This information should be had so that at least one player is brought back onto the foot. But I think that's not going to be the case because 141, they also want to take down the players of 3x.
Absolutely. Right now, 3x does seem like they have lost quite a few players. It was a winnable fight, but they somewhere lost their breath. And right now, again, 141 definitely gonna be off the charts as of this moment. But look at that. We have predictions of who has the best chance at winning this chicken dinner. Most goes to Agon XI8. Looks good, sounds good, feels good.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so because they do have the higher ground. Plus, this fight between 7th element and Magnus will have input from the players of Team I8 as well. But let's see, these smokes will help to keep the third party to a minimum right now. Zen being subjected to a nade from T24. Good support from T24, I say, to Goku Bot, but a molly of his own will take it. What's up with these players? These are rookie mistakes that not even a rookie throws a molly on his feet. I don't know what are these mistakes. I don't understand. I've seen them a lot. A nade onto your own teammate, a molly on your own feet, a nade dropping in your own feet. What is happening to all of these players? They've lost another player and now it's all down to T24 OP. Magnus, they're happy with the compound that they have. but they need to clear off T24 because he could be the thorn in their side. Oh, seventh element. Just with the player remaining. Let's see how do they want to come back into the game. T24, he seems to be in a bit of a difficult situation because if Team Magnus pushes out, he'll be caught off guard. He'll just have a weapon, but he's all alone. His helmet is tagged out completely. One more shot to the dome and he'll be done for. So T24, I don't think so. His life would be a very long living life, and that's exactly what happens. Zibian goes in, gets the frag, and gets the job done. That's another frag for his team. And Magnus, they're looking strong. 1-for-1. One of the players, JD, gets taken down. I8, they will have an easier time trying to figure this fight out. A good nade from Goose, but it did not get the knock. A follow-up won't give you any results either. Goose, though, he has to be careful. Two different players from a different team are on his left-hand side. 1-for-1 are still not out of the game. Counter utility from 1-for-1 as well. For Mithi, he is completely pinned down to a single position, so this should not be difficult at all for the players of I8. Falak is stacked up a bit. But look at it, the mollies, the nades. Every piece of utility is just flying in, and 1-for-1, they'll be affected. They for sure will be affected. Mithi, the last one alive, not for long. I8 get those frags.
Well, I8 does get quite a bit of frags for themselves, but this is I8 versus Magnus. Both the teams are pretty established on the leaderboard. Both the teams do have quite a bit to stand for, quite a bit to prove to everyone watching them. They do have a great fan following that needs to see their team win. Right now, however, all the advantage looks like it lies with I8. The circle is going to start shrinking in soon, and that's just going to be the time when we will see Magnus just take care from the cheeky angles that are going to be created by the team. Oh my god, they've already knocked one player. They have great shots onto another, but Uzma is going to be able to save himself. However, Faster 20 closing in while they don't even realize it's a flash move coming in from his side. And well, with that speed from Barry Allen, Faster 20 is going to be able to connect a few shots. But look at the positioning onto Aiku. Great shots. God damn it. Is it even going to be easy to figure out which one wins this? I mean, I don't think I'm predicting this time.
It's I8 through and through. They've got that revive. They have a numbers advantage, and they know the position of the remaining two players. It has to be I8. No way Magnus comes out on top. Falak got out in the open, but that's just the bait. The main shooting players are up on top of the ridge, and Vivian will go down to the zone, or if not, he'll go down to the players of Team I8, and that's a winner chicken dinner. The comeback is on. I8 is back in the game.
And well, not only back, they're back with a bang. They've done it so well. I mean, come on, can you expect anything better? Like, this is great entry. It was very indecisive. The top 5 teams that were staying in the circles, they were all looking pretty strong, all had a great chance, and well, the victory went to I8 nonetheless. It felt like for a while that 7th element will do it, but then they created some blunders, and I8 made sure they didn't step into the mistake pool and made sure that they were surfacing right above all the achievements that they can achieve for themselves in this one. 15 eliminations, 25 total points, and 4th overall positioning. A great entry into the new week.
I8 game number 1 did not go their way, but they were able to slay the map of Miramar. And we'll have some statistics, we'll have some highlights right after this short break.
Well, what an entry into the new week for I8. I mean, I am more proud of their performance than I've ever been. I'm impressed. And well, just because you're forgettable, I'm your host Anna, and with me on desk is Fritz.
Ah, we are here back again with the action. I mean, great game number 2, right? I8. Yes, they did not play game number 1, so the performance was not there because this team sat out the game number 1. But what a way to get back into week number 2. That's just great. That's a great performance from them, and the whole game it just felt like I8 had that control. They were always on top of fights. They were always capitalizing on good positions, and they were playing this particular game. Talking about the MVP though, it is gonna be from Magnus Esports this time around, and I feel so bad for the guys. So bad, 1200 damage. But when we talk about eliminations, it's just three.
Absolutely. Look at the healing. It's only 97. Great job. But excuse me, what kind of a graph is this? I've never seen this shape appear before. It seems like somebody tried to draw an eagle and it just went geometric. Anyways, no assists. So all of his damage was advantageous to other teams. Wow. Okay. That's how you become one of the biggest donors of the world. You donate all of your damage to other teams.
That I think is what Zen did over there. But there were other players as well who made an impact in the game, who made impact in terms of frags that were taken by these teams, and I8 had to be the most contributing team to this list. Aiku, UZM, Goose, all of these three players, 5-3-4, they just were on top in each and every fight. 4-4 from 52 Esports has also made an entrance over here. A good one for the players of 52 Esports, 5 frags to his name. So in total, I think 52 Esports has 7-8 frags, which is a decent number to have. But then again, were they able to get in top 3? I don't think so.
No
So
way.
they'll be able to get a few points in terms of eliminations, but then again they'll lack in terms of position points.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how that works out for them. But like, yeah, in the current scenario, the one thing that we should be taking a look at is the summary of the match. Look at that. How many players from the side of Team I8 are we gonna see here? We see Uzma, we see Falak, we see IQ, we see Ghost. I don't think Ghost is from I8, but like, yeah. Wait, he is. He is. Yeah, that's its name change. Yeah. So name
Uh-huh.
changes. It's confusing,
Happens.
but like, yeah. Well, look at that. Look
The
at that.
points.
The second and the third team collectively do not have as many as Aganex I8 does.
That's the power of elimination points, is what I'll say. 15 points in terms of elimination, and to top it off, you have 10 placement points. Great game from the side of Team I8. 25 points to their name. This will help them jump a little bit in the overall leaderboard. Talking about 3x, they've got 12 to their name. Magnus 12, 52 Esports 11. So yeah, 9 elimination points, and they ended up very low on position. So 52 Esports, great job in terms of elimination, but they could do better in terms of position points. 1-for-1 team negative, 7th element, followed by North Esports, Team QWERTY, HellRaisers. I mean, after Team QWERTY, even till Team QWERTY, 2-1-1, these are just consolation points given for you to play the game. And teams like Tough, Regicide, H2A don't even get that.
Well, absolutely. We do see teams lingering all the way on zeros, ones, and twos, and it makes a lot of sense considering the
Mhm.
fact that there's literally 25 plus 29, 25 plus 24, that is 49. Yeah, almost 49 frags by the first three teams. How do you
Insane.
expect the rest of the lobby to have anything?
We saw what, 35 frags in the first week being the maximum, and now that number just keeps on increasing. Man, come on, give the lower teams a break. You just go and just punch them down again and again. That does not feel good.
They
It
are
won't
giving
feel
them
good
a
at
break.
all.
They are giving them a break. They send them back to lobby so quickly.
It's like, yeah, you come, you perform, you go back, have some snacks. That's
No, it's like you come, you go back.
And have some snacks maybe. Come on, Hana. What will all these players do when sitting in the lobby? Have a snack or two, maybe fill your stomach, because you cannot fill the game with
Yeah, that
points.
part. Yeah, that part I agree with. I don't agree with the perform part because that's really missing from quite a lot of teams right now. I mean,
Mhm.
I do want to see all the teams step up. I am
Okay.
very hopeful and I know they have the potential. There's a reason they are here in the top 20 teams that are taking part in PMPL Pakistan Spring Season 2023. You're
All
here.
right.
Make it count. You're here. Show it that you deserve to be here. And obviously they deserve to be here. That is the reason they're here. But they're just not able to show it anymore. And that's suppressing the perform part for them.
All right. All right. But let's see what impact these first two games have had on the overall leaderboard as well. If you talk about the first place, it's still being secured by seventh element. But I8 is not far behind, just
Yep.
one game away. And if you look at it, I8 has just played
Yeah.
one. Seventh
Exactly.
element, the thing that they were doing to the other teams previously, now is happening to them. One game played, 25 points for I8. Seventh element, 2 games played, it's 26 to their name.
The curse of being in Group A. It is the curse of being in Group
Maybe.
A.
Oh,
Yes.
that
If you
that could be true.
Yeah, if you enter Group A, you always have one game more than everyone by the end of the day, and well, then it just becomes harder to calculate accordingly. And the first game generally does not go as good for the teams because they're still warming up, they're still getting in the groove. But yeah, great matches nonetheless. We have
Mhm.
both the teams, great teams with their chickens, but uh, I'm just happy to see the fact that the negatives are not on the second page.
Exactly, exactly. I
Yeah.
was about to say this for the very first time, I think, in the history of the tournament, we see negatives not being on the second page. That's a
I'm happy for
great
them.
jump. That's a huge, huge jump from this team. And yeah, I mean, I'm liking it too, man. Come on. Negatives not on the second page. You've got yourself good start on day number one, or should I say, not the best possible one for the other teams. Hey, you'll take it. You'll take it, and you can try maybe get some more points on the board and be in the top 5. If I do not ask a little bit too much, I think it will be too much for team negatives. They've not even got a
I
single
don't
chicken dinner.
think I don't
Not
think
even a
it's
single
too
chicken
much.
dinner.
Yeah, not
Oh,
one so
okay,
far.
okay.
But they
Being
do
positive here,
have,
Rahana.
yeah, not just being positive. Here's the reason. I have facts to back it up.
Okay,
All of their players have showed up in top players one time or the other. All right.
all
That
right.
means every single player is ready to contribute. Every single player is trying to lift their weight. They are
Mm-hmm.
starting to take aggression into their hands. They are starting to take fights because as we went towards the end of the first week, as I said, the teams on the lower side started getting more and more aggressive because they did not have much to lose.
Mm-hmm.
In those there was team negatives as well. They took a lot of
Oh,
fights in
okay.
that time, and that just built up their confidence, and now they are even taking drops near teams to make sure that they are again able to invest in fights soon as they land, and that just gives them an elimination point bonus which they can move forward with, which just boosts their confidence. And with that confidence they are able to do better things. I just feel like some of our teams are great performance, but they're just way too underconfident. And also, one thing that I feel right now is maybe the pink color wasn't working for Pinkman. Now that they're green, they're doing good.
All right, all right. Let's see if the change in wardrobe is the real reason for their performance. I highly doubt it. But yeah, I mean, more
I
weirder
mean,
things have worked out for other players sometimes, so I won't completely put it off the cards. But yeah, negatives, a better performance from them, at least a better game from them is what I'll expect. One chicken is all I want from this team for the whole tournament. One chicken is
I
what
mean,
I want.
I mean, I am gonna expect more than that because they have
Okay,
been stepping up quite
okay.
a bit. So I'm gonna expect more than that. But however, I do want to see Team TUF and Star
Mm-hmm.
to actually take the game further for themselves. 52 Esports is stepping up quite a bit, so I'm happy with their performance as well. And yes, I'm gonna take this back to you and be like, okay, don't talk about wardrobe not having an effect on a performance. You have started
Okay,
performing much better. Like today, you
okay.
look much more decent and you're doing great. So
All right. So you say I'm performing a bit better today? Is that what you're
yes,
saying? But that's not
yes,
because of the clothes.
it is
That's
because of the
because
clothes.
of the practice that I did previous to the stream. You
Hmm.
don't know. You never know. You don't know what is happening off the camera. So it's not just about clothes. Even in game is what I'll say. But yeah, whatever works for you, man. Whatever works for you is. You should just keep doing it. If you think praying before the game helps you a lot, man, I'm all up for it. I'll support you in that. You just need to perform good. That's the bottom line. You can use any ways that you want to just reach that particular line. But yeah, talking about game number 3, Sanhok, the map of Ahana, where we see a lot of Ahanas
Yes,
lying down in the ground. Let's see who's able to spot and hunt Ahana like me, or will they be taken down?
you can't hunt me. I bite you before you do.
Yeah, we'll try that.
Yes. Anyways, keeping my snaky side aside for pot times when I'm gonna be a Slytherin. Right now, focusing on PUBG. Oh my goodness. I mean, it's already a map that is easily reachable all across the charts. Why do you give a centralized plane path to this one? I want to see the teams flying for a bit because they're crawling for the rest of the game anyways. But well, here it is, 1 for 1, going in all the way north to Cow. Where is my favorite place? Okay, Paradise Resort. Magnus. Oh, good. Great choice. Love it. But well, we are gonna see the camps being attacked by 3 axes. Are they gonna be able to pick up their axes, fight the fight? Or are they gonna have to hold back and see Team QWERTY do this one better?
Hey, yo. One thing that I noticed, Ahana,
Yeah.
3x they don't use Car 98 even in Miramar. But now the PUBG gods given them a Car 98 on Sanhok. The most useless weapon on this map is with the side of 3. That's what you get. That's what you get if you don't use it in the map of Miramar where it is supposed to be. But yeah, QWERTY yet to make a move. 3x yet to make a move. They're just in a standoff right now. And if you look at QWERTY, they've left out a player as well. And same can be said for 3x. Alright, so they're looting for themselves. These two players are looting the remainder of boot camp. And the main fight that will happen in the building has to be taken by these 3. So a 3v3 in sorts in terms of this boot camp fight. But if you talk about the backup, I'd say the 3x player can back his team up very quickly, and he is, I think, already coming towards this particular main building. But the player of QWERTY is very, very far away. So this can hurt them. But let's see, for now, they're taking just very, very passive angles, making sure no information is being given to the players of Team 3x. Only fake information is being fed from Voltrax, who's making a lot of steps. But that's about it.
Well, Fritz, I feel like this might be a fight worth watching, but the whole cherry on top is going to be taken away by XGeneration. They're closing in slowly and steadily from all across the charts. And well, Tag is definitely scouting the area. He wants to know who all are surviving in the camp to make sure that they can, bring his team in for the fight. And if that happens, they're gonna feed on a feast. That third party is gonna be so yum yum. Oh, wait a second. Am I seeing a fourth one coming in? Freestylers. Oh, back off. Back off. It's already 3. It's too much action for us to comprehend.
I don't think so though. Every team would want a piece of the pie here if the
That's
fight
true.
breaks out. So the more the merrier is what I feel. I love action early on
I'm
because
unable
that
to
just
track
means,
it.
oh, read the field feed, Hannah. Be a professional. That's how you track fights. But yeah, I don't think so it'll come to that, Hannah, man. QWERTY is just boring me out here. They're not budging even an inch.
They're
Only one
trying
of their
to.
players is just moving around. And that's about it. Even Wolverine, who's not even a part of the fight, is not moving a lot. What? I
Well,
don't know
I
what
just
the
feel.
strategy is from QWERTY.
I just feel like they're preparing themselves to entertain you because the more they delay this fight, the more number of teams are gonna arrive at the occasion and feast off here. Wait a second, did feast? Oh, okay. Team BABLU already lost a player. That was quick. I did not even see that come up on the kill feed.
Neither did I. I don't know how I missed it. But yeah,
Be
Babu,
a
they lost a
professional,
player.
bro.
Oh, my words on me, huh? My words on me. Great, Ahara. Good job. It's freestyle who's got that frag. So I don't think so. They'll be part of this fight now because I think they've moved far way south. So it's just gonna be XGeneration, 3x, and the players of QWERTY. But that is when they decide to move. If they decide to move, I think if the zone just stays with them, they're happy with the loot that they have. Just the level 1 West will do it for them.
I just thought of something, Fritz.
Okay.
PUBG Mobile is a mobile game,
Mhm.
and the team playing it, their name is QWERTY, which is a keyboard thing.
But you have a keyboard on a mobile. Come on.
You don't use a keyboard to play the game, no.
But still,
You
it
don't
is
even
there.
use WASD. No, I mean I'm just saying it. It's
Okay.
ironic, but cool. Cool nonetheless.
What is not cool is this frag that Hextag has got from very far away, and Cairo with his shotgun. Montu goes down to Voltrax. Frags finally throwing off left and right, and QWERTY, just in a blink of an eye, obliterated and annihilated out of the server. 4 frags for 3x.
Well. 4 frags for 3x. That does rhyme a bit. When are you releasing your poetry books, sir? I'll be the first one to buy it and then never read it. But great job.
Okay.
I do see that the whole area of boot camp is now being capitalized by 3x. It's a great area. As long as the circle supports, they can literally make the best out of it. It has great cover, it has great loot, it has abundant supplies. So people are gonna be rejoicing out there. I feel the same for the people on Paradise Resort. I do wanna see Magnus Esports eventually. But in the meanwhile, Egonex I8, look at their eyes set on Buzzet. Are you gonna
And he's a
press the
dead man.
buzzer on Buzzet? Are you?
He's a dead man. He does not even expect UZM in this position, I think. He's just happy to be here. And negatives, they don't even have an idea that I8 is all around them. One bad move from negatives, one knock from I8 is all it will take to get them out of the game. And that I think will be given by Pinkman. A lot of shots being taken, but Pinkman is very quick to hit the U-turn. He just gets back into the compound and realizes, yeah guys, players. And
In
Guru is like, yeah, I
miraculous
can see your
HP.
HP.
Miraculous HP. But he has enough healings available to him. But the knock is gonna happen right on Buzzard, just as expected. The buzzer has been hit already, knocking down Buzzard. I can ram too. I should write a book.
Yeah,
But
no one will
yeah, in
read
the
it.
meanwhile, before I start writing the book, I gotta read the players. And well, all I can see is that great game will be played from the side of Agonex I8. They have a great momentum going for them. If they continue on it, they might just be able to capitalize the leaderboard very, very quickly. They do have a frag to their name, and this is gonna be their time to shine. However, I feel like they are trying to fall back. Okay, commit. Why do these teams have commitment issues? That too on a map like Sanhok. Come on, it shrinks in no time.
Hey, at least you have that information. It'll be on the mainland. It'll be around somewhere. Query is what I think the zone is going to be. A south shift is what I'm expecting for the next circle to have. But yeah, that's just me. That's just me. That's what I expect.
Yeah,
Reggie
that's why I
side
don't
though.
believe it.
Okay. Reggie side though. They do have a team in front of them because of which the rotation path gets altered a little bit. But was the one scouting, just called it all clear. He's clear to use that bridge. Some shots, yes, were taken by HellRaisers, but the performance that they've had, I think, even if Reggie side is in front of them, they'll not be able to connect those shots. That's how bad down team HellRaisers is right now. Not just in week number 1, now in week number 2 as well. The first 2 games, not the best possible ones, I'd say, Hana.
Well, let's see. Time will tell. Time will tell. And so will the play zone. If there are teams that are still lingering outside, well, you are up for a goodbye very, very quickly into the game. And HellRaisers, I feel like they are in a great position to do some gatekeeping. Congratulations for acquiring yourselves that positions. Oh, okay. You're literally gonna have your crosshair near your own teammate. Good job.
covering for him. If some snake pops out of nowhere, if some Hana
Well,
pops out of nowhere,
yeah.
you really need that crosshair to be right on point. But
You
yeah,
gotta be safe of me.
I8, I'm surprised to see them still here. See, there are 2 reasons for this, because you're first of all quite out in the open. Yes, you have players looking left and right. You have all the angles covered, but it's better to have a compound in this particular area rather than trying to be all out in the open. Here, Quantum Rage though, that's a slam in, and that's the very first time I've seen something like that happen on Sanhok. You usually just push in with your foot to be very quick. But here we have a vehicle being used. 2 players have used the vehicle to come up front here, senior and flanky, and now they're dumping utility. Now they're just trying to get that opening that they need to recall the remainder of the players. I think the third one, Divine, has also joined in, and Spark is also on his way. So Quantum Rage, they do want this fight, and let's see how do they execute it. Freestyle, they just completely boxed it into this particular compound, and I don't see a way of them getting out of here. A need to follow up, somehow drop shot is unaffected because of it. Divine, the only thing hindering right now is the smoke black. Wait for the smokes to fade, but the trades are there. Quantum Rage, they lose 2, and they've eliminated a player as well. Freestyle, they go down, but they take senior with them.
Well, here's a thing to notice. Divine, a player from the side of Seventh Element, is now playing for Quantum Rage, or it's just a name change. We don't know. People are trying to trick us quite a bit these days. That's just how world is. NES, what are you doing on the outside of the circle? Walk back in. Walk yourselves back in. 1 for 1 is going to be gatekeeping you so hard. It's going to be very difficult. But well, anyways, talking about the fight that we just saw initiate between Quantum Rage and Freestylers. Hmm. Do I even want to talk about it? Okay, never mind. Let's just leave it. Team negatives in a great position. I am impressed by the fact that so far they are still looking really good. They are still able to hold Agonix I8 back a little, but eventually they're gonna have to come back out. They're gonna have to find themselves a spot, and if Agonix I8 does not move until then, one, they will have a lot of people aiming on them. Two, they will have a great chance feasting on negatives.
The rotation path is what I'd like to see right now. There's a tuk-tuk available, but I think that's what I8 is trying to bait. Pinkman, he has already rotated off and is inside the zone using that buggy.
Huh?
But yeah, somehow without I8 watching him. So it's just two players in this compound, Guruboy and Shahid. Sad boy though is able to get a knock onto Thug onto the player of XGeneration. So XGeneration versus the Grounders. Interesting fight. I'd like to have a camera angle on that. But now I8, who was earlier trying to gatekeep, now have diverted their attention, it seems like. Because look at this. Except for one of the players, all the others have already started exploring new avenues. And that's just good decision making from I8, I'll say. They're not tunnel visioned on a single team that, yeah, this is the only team we focus upon until unless they move. So that's a great thing coming in from I8. But at the same time, you're losing on two frags, two potential frags to say the least, which could have come. Oh, okay. They've left three players and the other one's just exploring. So they're still focused on the players of Team Negatives. Good decision, good decision. Because anyway, Team Negatives, they need to make a move here. 10 meters inside the zone is not going to be easy at all to achieve. And not even a corner of this compound is inside the zone. So yeah, rotations have to come in. And let's see how does Team Negatives achieve those.
Well, we'll see how this goes for them. But right now, it just feels like Agonix I8 is gonna find a better place for themselves, because obviously this place is gonna get more and more riskier as the teams from the outside start shrinking in towards the circle, start marching in towards the circle. But yes, I'm liking the scope of Uzm on actually making some fights result into great, casualties for the other teams, because he is able to pick up, great angles, find out people in quite a distance, and still, capitalize on it. So, do want to see that turn out into a great result. But negatives, before your HP goes into negative, please make yourself back into the circle. You've already lost a member, and then the second one to the zone. It's just not looking great. And as suspected, due to the circle, the negatives are going to be in a lot of trouble, and then NPS being bold enough to actually make that move in right in the face of not working.
I8 though.
Not working.
They've lost a player as well, but I think the position that they have will compensate for the loss that they have right now on themselves. RF is trying to toss a nade. Easy Boy gets a knock on Falak. Now that's a third party. That's just straight up third party, and I8 are losing players left and right. That's a confirmation onto Aiko as well. TFD barged into that particular fight. Faster, the reflexes are at least very fast for that particular player. And XGeneration Pulsai is able to finally get that final frag as well. What a great reaction from Faster though, I'd say. XGeneration, they're able to win that fight. By what cost? They've lost two. North Esports have also rotated off. They've got themselves inside the zone and utilized those third party shots from the players of TFD to their own advantage, and now have left the players of I8 and have moved inside a safer space.
Well, right now the teams will definitely find themselves in safe spots, but is it gonna be safe for long? And look at that. Am I seeing X Generation losing to 1-4-1? Alrighty, I see you guys there. Your unicorns is actually working with the horns, right? But right now, negatives are gonna be the ones in a lot of trouble, because North Esports, they are marching in. They are marching in well versed and well prepared for the fight to come. And Shahir right there. He takes Arif down, but then gets traded instantly, and that instant karma is gonna result into a great damage for the side of negatives. Once this fight comes to an end, Aegon X8 will have great chances of moving in close and face to face with the faulty devils, and that's just gonna result into some aggressive gameplay coming in from the side of Aegon X8, which I am not expecting, which I do not want to see, considering the fact that they're already two men lost.
Oh, 9mm boy gets a double knock onto Talisman and Izzy boy. That too on different angles. Either this guy just had a crazy spray or he was super lucky. He was super lucky is what I'll put my money on. Because getting those two knocks is not easy at all, but he has been able to get it. So good shots coming in. HellRaisers tears. He's still taking some shots out to the players of 3x. Comeback is down on the ground. He is being attempted to be killed off completely. And that he will, I think. There's no chance of a revival here. Whatever. He is also trying to make a fight, but I think so it will not last long. UZM finally surprises the players of TFD and has taken down 2 with him. 2MB versus Goose, an important fight, a third party for Goose. He is not liking it. He is not liking it at all, but the same can be said for the players of TFD as well. They have been taken down one by one. Goose will get the revival, and TFD left with just 2MB.
Well, on this one, it feels like Quantum Rage might just have the best upper hand of the game. 3x was looking great as they started off, but now it's just one player surviving. And in Sanhok, one player can be up for a surprise, can be up for a lot of surprise. And whenever you're solo playing in Sanhok, you generally tend to crawl your way in, and that just does not give you a lot of time in hands to face and fight off the circles that happen to be coming around. However, it feels like right now the teams are gonna be in a great, shuffle this time, because I haven't seen all of these teams go that head to head. Like, never seen the Grounders and Regicide and Quantum Rage being so much in advance compared to XGeneration and Aegon X8 and 3x. I mean, they're good. They're doing great. There's a lot of shuffle. I'm enjoying it. I'm seeing the game is becoming more and more unpredictable, and as it keeps getting that way, it gets more and more adrenaline rushing to it, and more exciting to it.
Reggie said, no, they won't be excited at all because BABLU just did that. It's all down to the last remaining 3 players. Okay, 3 players still surviving. Alright, it's BABLU who won't be happy.
Last
Who have just
remaining
2.
3 players.
It happens sometimes, but yeah, Gully
It
Swag
was
gets taken
funny,
down.
that's all I'm saying. It was funny.
Alright. Roshan with the DBS, although the job was done by Vaz, I think, with the vehicle, with the buggy. Yeah, the Dune buggy gets the frag and somehow on the glass, it still works. And that's a frag achieving weapon as well, which has been spawned. Interesting to say the least. Not esports though. Still playing the survival game, just trying to get any number of points that they can from here on. Pulse aa gayi. Still a good peak from him, trying to dish out some damage onto the player of the opponent team, but not getting anything at all. The grounders though are in the best possible position. They have the ground as well to work with. No one near them. 4 different players in 4 different compounds. So the only thing that they have to make sure is not getting knocked here. That's the only thing that they need to worry about. Not getting knocked, that should be enough for them to win the game. But it will be super hard to do once multiple teams fire upon you. So let's see. Roshan for now is a bit concentrated onto the players of Team Quantum Rage. But I think so Quantum Rage, they also have a vehicle to work with. Yeah, so Divine is using the vehicle. He will get away. He will get inside the zone without any trouble. Regicide though have a very high angle. A very high angle, and Knock is able to say Knock Eagle. That's what I do. That's what I get a frag for. And he's down on the ground.
Well, right now it does seem like our teams are in a quite chaotic situation. Not gonna be able to make it out of here without actually losing a few and gaining a few. It makes a lot of sense considering that Sanhok is just one of those maps which just becomes very, very random, specifically going closer and closer towards the last few circles. XGeneration still struggling to make their way back into a safe area. They finally entered it, but at what cost? Just 1 person remaining from their team. 6 frag points. Great. Good job. But are you going to be able to secure placements considering the fact that this is none other than Sanhok? The ground is looking really strong, but the one team that's gonna be most problematic for them is Quantum Rage. Even though Regicide does have more players, if Regicide does not finish Quantum Rage off, Quantum Rage can be a great thorn in the roads for the grounders, because Quantum Rage does have this unique playstyle, which is hold back, wait for it, and then watch it become legendary.
Grounders, once again, they were blessed with the zone. Even the seventh zone was with them. And yeah, man, this prediction makes a lot of sense for the grounders here. 46% win chance. This should be their game. The only team that can steal it away from them could be Regicide. But with the number of players that they have, the numbers advantage that the grounders have, I don't see a way how a team grounders lose this if they just do not decide to run out in the open. That's the only way they lose this fight. The zone's with them. The next zone, it will force both of these teams to move. I think it will be a central zone and it will force both of these teams to move. Sad Boy gets taken care of, but the revival will come in. And here we go. Both of these teams have to come inside the zone. Knock has a DBS, but this is the entry that they needed. They wanted this entry, they've got it, and now they're trying to make a rotation out of it. But a blunder. Regicide go out of the zone. A blunder from their side which will be capitalized. And it's all down to just Roshan, who's just crying right now. So what did you guys just do here?
Well, those tears are gonna have to wait a little, because it's time for dinner, and Roshan, alongside his team, did get taken off at the second spot. The winner chicken dinner is gonna be taken away from Regicide and handed right into the hands of the grounders. Well, you can pick your meal for the night and munch on it, because this is exactly what was expected of them for a while. They finally showed up to the party, and the second chicken for them in the 2 cumulative weeks. Great job. Puts them all the way up on 13. Wasn't expecting them to come up that quickly, but they did, and I'm proud of them.
Ooh, the grounders. Great game. Great game from their side, and they're awarded for it. 19 points to their name. Guys, we'll just be right back with some more insights of the game, with some more highlights of the game. Till then, stay tuned. Do not go anywhere. We'll just be right back.
पहले ही कस्टमर्स नहीं आ रहे थे और आगे रमजान में तो बिल्कुल ही नहीं आएंगे। तुम सारा टाइम अपने दोस्तों के साथ आवारागर्दी में गुजार देते हो। इस तरह तो गुजारा हो ही नहीं सकता। खबरदार फोन को हाथ लगाया। ओ, आ गए होंगे तुम्हारे आवारा दोस्त।
क्या सीन है ब्रो, चला चले।
नहीं यार, आज गेम नहीं खेल सकता।
अहमद,
आ रहा हूँ अम्मी।
बढ़ाने से, साथ निभाने से, उम्मीद बांटने से खुशियाँ घटती नहीं बस बढ़ती है। वही देता है वही सुनता है जब भी दोगे तुम सदा। हाथ जो मिलते हैं रस्ते निकलते हैं, खुशियों में बदलते हैं। रौनक हर चेहरे पे खुद ही आ जाती है। वही देता है वही सुनता है जब भी दोगे तुम सदा।
क्या बात है बच्चों, दिल जीतने वाली गेम खेल गए।
तो आंटी आपके साथ भी एक स्क्वाड अप हो जाए।
हाँ, आ जाओ।
इस रमजान अपने स्क्वाड की गेम से बनो किसी की भलाई का मजबूत जरिया और खेलो सिर्फ दिल जीतने के लिए।
Well, this Ramzan, squad up with your friends to lend support and make sure that you play the game that wins hearts.
But yeah, winning hard, that was just done in the previous game as well.
Yes.
The grounders, they did it. I'd say it was a bit more luck to the game that they had, because the compound they took was just like having the zone again and again, and they didn't even move out of it. But yeah, man, you take whatever comes to you, right? You just take those games in 19 points to their name, and that's how Grounders win the whole game.
I'm judging you right now for calling it
Do it
just
as
luck
hard
because
as you
it
can.
wasn't. I mean, I get it. They did have all the, circle advantage, but we do
Exactly.
see that coming in from for a lot of teams. And again, a lot of
Mhm.
teams are not able to capitalize on it anyways. So yeah, whatever is coming in your favor, if you're able to make the best of it, great for you. We can't go ahead and be like, okay, it was mostly luck. And also, there is a great saying: even luck supports the one who works hard. So they've definitely put in effort somewhere.
Yeah,
That's
they
the
did
reason
loot
it
in
is
the early
happening.
rounds. They
Yep.
did loot early in the early rounds, and they made the decision to stay in that compound. I think that's what helped them win the game. But yeah, I mean, call it a prediction from their IGL, right? The
Yeah,
IGL predicted that this zone
that
is the
makes
one.
much more
This
sense.
compound is the one. Yeah, that would make sense for you, Hana.
It
For sure.
does.
Okay, it does, but that's what I felt was just sheer luck. Again and again, the zone being in their compound, and then a team who had the higher edge advantage to run down out in the open and try to take you down. That's just luck. And I not say luck, I just say the stupidity from the side of Reggie's side. The two of their players just go outside the zone. That's not just accepted at all. That should not be accepted
Yeah.
at all. But yeah, some other players that made an impact in the game. The Grounders Destroyer had 3 eliminations to his name. Goku had 4. JD, Vaz, and Knock. All of these players, they did play great in the map of Sanhok.
Well, that's true, but look at the damage from Destroyer. He's damaged way too much to have only 3 eliminations. This
That he
is
has.
this is loud and clear. He's done great job here, and I mean that definitely should prove the fact that the Grounders did work quite a bit to be where they were. But yeah, let's just take a look at the overall match and how it went for all the teams. Like, oh my god, okay. 1-for-1 made a spot for themselves. That's great. That's something new. I'm happy. Even negative Spinkman is on third rank for highest healing done. So it just seems like they're taking way too much damage, but okay. Uzm is here from I8. Great performance from them as well. Even though not the best fight to stick for. But yeah, with this, we have quite a little bit of an idea of the match. But let's just take a look at the overall ranking to see how deep the whole criteria goes. However, before that, I do want to give a big kudos to Reggie's side. Like, we generally do see only Roshan
Mhm.
showing up on these, but now this is Vaz, there's Noki. Like, the rest of the team is also stepping up, and that's great because now you know that the whole team is preparing themselves for the fight to come. And well, look at that. Our winners, the Grounders.
They're being followed. They're being followed by the players of Reggie side that you talked about. 8 elimination points to their name, 14 overall points. Quantum Rage, a good fight from their side, I'd say. But at the end, they were bested. I think just one player was remaining from their side, which got taken down by the players of Reggie side. And that was the end of the road for Quantum Rage. 1-for-1 official. This time, a decent performance. The previous game was not the best possible one, but here they're able to get 9 points. XGeneration, again, a consistent game, 8 points to their name. 3x Esports and onwards. They could have done better. All of these teams, they were able to win early fights for them. Even I8 won that early fight, a 4-man swap, a 4-man sweep onto their opponents, but then were not able to capitalize on it.
Well, we will be seeing how they, change the tables across around in the next game because right now it does seem like our teams are gonna be facing a lot of challenges going forward because teams are swapping around, a lot of new names are popping up, a lot of old names are kicking out. So yeah, well, we'll see. However, I feel like, I mean, 52 Esports is having a very dicey, gameplay overall. They start with
Hmm.
great games and then they fall back down, then they go back up. It's just a very sinusoidal graph for them. But yeah, let's just take a look at all the great moments of the game now that we've taken a look at all the great players and teams of the game.
Oh, this first fight was very, very bad for the players of Team QWERTY, I'd say. They were just eliminated in a blink of an eye. One of their players has got third party, but the other two were just completely dominated upon by the remaining players. So yeah, a good early fight started off the game, but then towards the middle stages, these fights, even knock, look at these shots, man. These are so crisp from so far away. 1 for 1, JD got taken down by Reggie side, and then the final frag from Evil Boy as well. Roshan was completely out in the open, so not much can be expected from him when he had to watch what, like 7-8 windows in front of him. Any player could have peeped out of anywhere. So yeah, could not blame him for not winning that particular duel. But yeah, a good sense of awareness from the grounders of not leaving the compound,
Yeah.
because sometimes we do see teams feeling a bit pressured when they are shot upon from 4 different sides, and then they try to maybe stick together in a single compound, and they just get naded out of it. They kept their composure. They kept all of the 4 players in separate compounds. So even if the worst come to shove, you had at least 2 players surviving, or you had 2 players backing the other 2 up. So that was a great decision from the grounders. But yeah, man, I mean, the chicken just literally walked for them, walked towards them, and were like, yeah, just take me, just hit the shots, and that's about it you have to do in this game.
Well, absolutely. I mean, we did talk about it on the first day itself that it's called a chicken dinner because probably you have to chicken out the whole game to actually get it, and that's exactly what
Uh-huh.
you are saying the grounders did. So I guess they played the right game. They understood the
Okay.
assignment and did exactly what was needed. But well, on our assignment, the next map coming up is gonna be Miramar one more time. Group B, however, is gonna be sitting this one out. What a great day. I mean, we start all the way from a very tactical map, go to a little lesser, then go to no tactics at all, and then we go back to a little more tactics, and then all the way closing at the high note with the most tactical map of all, that is Erangel. Guys, this is a power packed day, and I'm waiting for more of these to come by. However, this one is still not over, so stick to your seats.
Hmm.
And as the zone said, as the game said, stay hydrated and make sure you're right here watching all
Yes.
of it, not missing out on any of it, because this is huge.
Sometimes, Hana, I do feel that the map of Miramar demands a bit more precision than the map of
Yeah,
Erangel,
I get it.
because I think the game depends a lot on rotations, and then comes the map of Miramar, where even having a buggy, you're not guaranteed a good rotation because of the way the map is designed. It's not easy at all to even drive a single vehicle on this map.
That's true, but
So rotations
yeah,
become very, very difficult on this map.
that's true. But the reason I say that Miramar is a little less tactical than Erangel,
Okay.
that is because, okay, let's just talk about it once we get into the map and we have
Hmm.
to see all the teams just scatter around. But like, yeah, I do believe that once we see the teams, this is what happens on Miramar. One, you do not have a guarantee of going to your drop locations, right? Two, there
Uh-huh.
is uncertainty. Even if you're able to glide close to it, if you go to it, coming back might be much more difficult considering it's a much huger map. Again, something that you have to work about. So the variables are a lot. Then again, it's a very long range map. So a lot of teams can be situated at a lot of places and can be spotting anyone at any time. So that just creates man loss, uninvited, unexpected man loss for the teams, which is another variable. Now, a lot of times, even the vehicles, you expect to find a vehicle at a place, but then again, this being such a huge map, every single team is looking for vehicles, and then you sometimes just lose out on the vehicles that you supposedly wanted to have from a supposedly obvious position, and that just gives up. So when this is all happening, it feels like there's way too many variables that can literally change your whole game plan in no time at all, and that is why it feels like it's one of the maps that you cannot strategize much for. Like, even if you have a whole game plan, there's a million things that can make it go wrong, and you have to adjust accordingly instantly. That's the reason I say Erangel is a little more conserved in that manner, because you do get an idea of who can third party you, which positions are going to have the best chances, because it's not that far away that you'll just find someone miles away taking a shot on you. It's mostly a little closer region, so you're able to analyze accordingly and work. Like, so basically what I feel like is when you go to Erangel, if you have a base plan, you hardly have to switch it up like a couple of times. If you go to Miramar, you have to switch it up more than that. But if you go to Sanhok, you cannot have a base plan. If you have a base plan in Sanhok, you're who are you kidding?
All right. I do get your point. I do get your point. You're talking about the uncertainties that the map of Miramar brings, and I do agree to a certain extent, but yes, now in this game, look at this. The plane path went all the way east, and the zone has gone all the way west. And this is a power grid centric zone. So we'll see a few zones in this particular direction, but then there has to be a north side shift towards El Pozo, is what I feel. Let's see if that happens or not. I've seen this zone a couple of times in some more competitive games, and it has ended around that city of El Pozo. Not sure about this one though. Reggie side here, they've got themselves in a good area to loot for. Talking about 3x as well. Picado tier 1 loot is what you get in Picado. You just need to be quick enough to find it, because again, in a minute and a half, you'll have to move because of the zone.
Well, definitely. I mean, in Miramar, I think that is the story for every single player, for every single team, because it's just so difficult to actually make your way to the zone, specifically when it goes all the way to the opposite side of the plane path and to locations which are just way too far away from the most preferred ones. I mean, Los Leones, one of the hugest areas, one of the biggest cities, one of the most important loot areas. It's just way too far from the circle. You would have to need a vehicle. You would have to make sure that you're rotating in one of those. But then again, I guess the teams are just gonna have to, adjust accordingly. And I think it just reiterates my point of the fact that, yeah, you cannot just, strategize as much as you want. However, I do want to hear your counter on that while we still see our teams playing Loot Simulator, because you were mentioning that you feel like Miramar is more tactical. I would really want to hear that side of the story and see if I change my mind or maybe just convince you, whatever it is.
I think Erangel being such a defaulty map,
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to take in account, as you said, all those variables while playing the game. It's a military base zone, say for example. The first zone shifts all the way south, goes towards military base, I'm sorry. Then you know that you just have two ways. You need to either rotate through water or rotate through the main the main two bridges that are present. But then there are some IGLs who decide to use the vehicles in a way where you jump them off the bridge and then land on the other side. If you've seen it happen.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
they sometimes make it a bit creative, and they have an out of the box opportunity to capitalize on, and they can work around on the map of Miramar. But when you come to the map of Miramar,
Mm-hmm.
you have to be very precise with what you want. You cannot make these plays on the fly. You cannot think, yeah, so the zone is 400 meters away. You have a vehicle, and you cannot think that we'll make the Dhoom entry and try to surprise our opponents and then take them down. So at that time, you need to consider, yes, this ridge is this angle. You can cover it from 4 different sides with 4 different vehicles, and then you have a safe spot to be in. So that's why more rotation focused, more team oriented fights happen on Miramar. Because we don't see a lot of clutches on Miramar, right? We don't see a lot of players just clutching it out on this particular map, because the fights are a bit more team oriented. You have a ridge that can be watched from multiple different 50 different angles, for which you need teammates. A player in a 1v3 cannot watch all of these angles at the same time. But in the map of Erangel, we do see a lot of clutches. I feel we see a lot of players, making those solo plays and helping their team out by taking those 1v2s and 1v3s. That cannot happen on Miramar, and that's why I think it is a bit more tactical than the map of Erangel.
Okay, I do hear you, but that's the one. Like, I understand what you're trying to say. I understand where you're coming from. You do have to know exactly what you want and work accordingly to that. But I feel like there's just a little more surprises in the map of Miramar. While if in Erangel you walk in with a game plan, you can actually follow through with it, considering that there's less variables. However, a great discussion. Let's one day have a debate about this, and I would love to do that. But right now, I mean, I would say let's get back into the game, but there's nothing much happening. We're just seeing people flutter around, run in their cars, look for their loots. Not a single frag, not a single bullet being tossed around. So yeah, I don't know.
Hey,
Scenic beauty.
Hassan has an M24, so weapon beauty as well, and it is suppressed as well. I think you have a suppressor there on. Oh my god, Hassan! Please use it. Please get a knock. Here though it's TFD who spotted these rotations happen, and Jallad has been punished because of it. You cannot move in this map of Miramar with such a big vehicle, with such a lousy vehicle, I'd say, and try to clear compounds. That's just borderline madness that was attempted by 52 Esports, and they're punished for it. TFD, they get a frag. 2MB down on the 2MB has been able to put one on the board. And yeah, 52 Esports down a player early on.
Well, 52 Esports kinda does that repeatedly, but then in recent times they are surviving quite a bit as well, so I guess we can give them that. But wait a second, no comeback? Are you okay? Great scouting point for him. However, he does have to give up on one angle completely. It also works in his favor with the fact that he has one less angle to worry about if anyone else was aiming on him. But yeah, I think he heard the vehicle. He heard the vehicle. He's gonna make sure he goes ahead and watches it well to make sure that he can, fight this off well. But yeah, no comeback. Great position, man. Great position. Wait, Choto knows. Okay. Popo is gonna be the one to get down, get knocked, get eliminated. At second position, who died before that? TFD got someone. That was the first drawn blood. I missed it.
In the jumbo vehicle, they were trying to rotate and they got picked off. One of the players got picked off. So that's what just happened as the very first frag. But yeah, after that, 3x is able to get another one for themselves on the board. Good shooting skills from Cairo, I'd say. He was able to dish a lot of damage, and then no comeback was able to deal the final blow. Good knocks coming in. I mean 3x, the position that they have to come into that particular position and eliminate them is not a possibility here, because I think you need a vehicle to climb this ridge up. Plus there are a lot of angles that you can hide in.
What's that hand movement?
So that is that is just another thing to keep in mind. But yes, 52 Esports, they'll be served with another player, Tears, but not the best possible weapon to dish out a spray.
Well, our teams definitely seem like they're gonna be in quite some, cold wars. Waiting a bit before they actually take a fight, but look at Agonex I8. They just caught TFD by surprise. Already a man lost, the rest trying to run away. This does not look like the best position for TFD. No matter how shiny your car is, if it attracts attention, it's not for you. Not in a game which requires survival, which needs you to go camouflage, which needs you to hide.
Alright, TFD. Time to remove skins, out of these vehicles.
Yeah.
Time to remove those skins. Alright, freestyler, keep that in mind, because I'm sure you'll be watching the stream after this, because you're not valuable in game anymore. You've been taken down, you've been taken off the server. You'll be playing in the next game if your team is in the appropriate group. But yeah, the faulty devils, they've also sort of stopped performing. Day number 1 hasn't been their day, and we do expect a bit better performance from this particular team. Freestyle, on the other hand, has been able to get a knock on the player of 141, and Hubsy goes down as well. So it's 2 players down, and 141 is in a lot of trouble. Freestyle, they'll be able to get those frag for themselves and almost able to touch drop shot. So Freestyle almost got the knock as well, almost started off with a very good first fight, but at the end they lose that player, and Freestyle surviving with just 3.
Well, Freestyler, I mean, they do not need more disadvantages to them. They're already in a lot of disadvantageous situations. They always find themselves surrounded by teams that are just way better than them at the gun game. But right now, even though they're against one that hasn't been able to make their mark, they're still losing. I mean, don't let yourselves be threatened by a team which isn't even able to establish a grounding for themselves just yet. So please, I just want to see this team just pick up themselves, dust themselves off, and go back into the battle. However, currently the battleground is going to be pushed out of this region. We will be seeing teams trying to make a rotation. How long do they have though? Because the circle is already approaching and they are losing HP. They're getting short. It's a double pressure situation. And out of this, I don't think any team survives with a good advantage in hands.
Not at all. JD though, he's trying to take down Malik, and Malik seems to have no interest in the fight. He just wants to survive. He's a guy who likes peace. I think he's asking for some backup as well. But JD, the shots, they do land, but Fezzi is there with the trade. So 1 for 1, finally living up to their name, getting the trade here. King, he is going in for the revival, but I think so the remainder of the two players will make sure that the revive does not happen, or 1 for 1 go down completely. Malik should get the revival after this particular fight, but Freestyle need to hurry up. King finds the perfect timing to find one and gets black as well. What a clutch, what a 1v2 from this guy. And Freestyle still in the game. So on the other hand, Reggie side is able to just clap up a couple of players of H2E.
Where Regicide does look like they're in a great position right now. They might just be able to take TUF by the neck as well. However, in the mix, H2E will definitely be using quite some players. Look at that, Haji already shooting his shot. And there's the third party advantage coming in for the side of TUF. I do want to see this team in the top boards. I've been saying this for a week now. I just want to see them step up because I've heard great things about the team. And well, I like Joker Sir's t-shirts, not gonna lie.
And the K98 he uses. Yeah, we also love that phrase. We also love, I know. All my Bolt fan actions are here. Bolt action sniper rifle fans are here. But yeah, only one so far. I did not even see the M24 working as well. So only Joker Sir with the K98. Hey, Avengers sit still. Oh, the shot misses. The Joker Sir is not good enough. But Quantum Rage, they're in a trouble. Senior is trying to bail them out. A lot of damage done upon MM Boy. But finally he goes down and Evil Boy gets traded off as well. Quantum Rage, they survive the scare. 5 defeats to their name. All 4 players still survive.
Well, all 4 players survive on quite a few teams as of now. We are seeing 4 to the right and a couple to the actually 3 to the left as well. So we have at least 8 teams with all 4 players surviving. That is a great number considering that we walked in with just 16 to begin with. Half the teams have all their players on board, and that just means it's gonna get more and more trickier as we go further into the game. To a little bit east of Monte Nuevo, right next to Power Grid, we have our circle right now just contracting in, and look at that. We were talking about this earlier. 7th element doesn't go to the circle comes to them, and that's exactly what we're seeing. Right in the center of it resides 7th element. A great team, a great performance from them. They already got their names on the leaderboard. Very well done, but I feel like in this map, this location is not gonna give much advantage. You're in the center, great, but it's Miramar. It's mostly open. There's very few covers. Survival just becomes difficult, and you might just be a part of way too many squads taking interpersonal fights, and it just makes you keep your awareness on point at multiple angles, and that's just difficult. However, Tokusaurus got this.
Tokusaurus, the last time I saw him was very, very far away from his team. Don't know
He
what the
generally
decision
is.
was there, but yeah, okay, alright.
Yeah,
He's seen in that position.
Yeah, so here's the thing. That's just the way 7th element works. Tokusaurus generally is way too far from the rest of the team. Watches out for the whole area, scouts it, and makes sure that every single team's location and intel is available for the rest of the team. He just does that, and that's just Tokusaurus games. I mean, in the initial stage, even I was like, what's happening? Is this even beneficial? But then I saw it repeat for a couple of games, and then I was like, okay, that's just how you play. That's the okay, I respect it.
Alright. So the game plan for 7th element is to leave Tokusaurus on scout and let him do whatever he wants and then follow up maybe, huh? That's what 7th element does here. But for now though, HellRaisers, with Masab and Tears, they're trying to fight out a whole squad of Team Tough. Not going to be easy at all. First of all, because you have the numbers disadvantage. But the only thing that's positive is both of these teams are outside the zone. Tears has been subjected to a lot of shots. And Tears goes down to the third party from 3x. Joker sir with a nade just tries to burst it right in front of his opponent, which he does. Gets another frag to his name. And Tough, with a little bit help from 3x, is able to eliminate the whole squad in front of them.
Well, even with the whole squad in front of them, it seems like no backing down is gonna happen for now. He's just gonna keep finding new and new angles to make sure that his comeback happens right. TUF is definitely looking like it's not a beneficial situation. But this just reminds me of one other situation that I want to make you aware of, Fritz. So listen to this. There was this situation in Miramar itself. 52 Esports was on top of a ridge, a very similar one to this, and at the bottom was 3x. They were pressuring 3x bad. They were constantly shooting their shots, constantly making sure that 3x was in trouble. 3x put up a couple of smokes, made it look like they had left the corner, and then 52 left the high ground as well. They started moving in towards the circle. After waiting a little bit, 3x moved towards the circle. The last fight happened between 3x and 52 Esports. They finished 52 Esports and took the chicken dinner.
Wow. Alright,
That's just how our
pretty
teams are
interesting.
playing, yes.
Pretty interesting though. But here we have XGeneration, Pulsag down on the ground, Hakur down on the ground, Brown Boy and Thaga the remaining two players. But the good thing for XG, they know that this push cannot happen right now, or it has to just be comeback. Who tries to manage these frags out, and that he does, I think. Pulsage back down on the ground, the frag secured as well, and now no comeback is on a suicide mission. He goes down to Shami's nade, but he has done his job, right? In that situation is just great. Aiku though, very unlucky to find himself in that spot, but the trade is there. So I8 focusing on the trade, getting the job done.
Well, I definitely gets the job done, but on the same time, look at that. Aiku is already very low on HP. They will have to go ahead and initiate the revival as soon as possible. Ghost is gonna lose some as well. But right now, the trades do not seem to be coming in. I8 is just gonna be the one and only one suffering in this journey. Is Uzm gonna be able to provide the very required backup that his team needs? XGeneration already on a man loss, already another one down. Are they gonna be able to make it to the zone? The zone is gonna be the one very decisive factor that decides on whether or not I8 is able to struggle through this. Ghost goes there, connects all his shots, already puts Brown Boy to an HP that is unimaginable. I can't even see it on the screens to be very proper, but like, there it is, the revivals. XGeneration is surviving with just 2 players in totality. They're gonna be confirming the frags that they made out of it. But to what extent? 3x is going to capitalize on the fight. Zarbaf gets knocked down by Brown Boy, but in the same time, Cairo is going to trade off Uzm. This just does not look like it's going any better for Agonex I8 as it was for comparatively on the side of XGeneration. I mean, they lost their players, but so is going to be happening to I8 as well, because 3x looks like they are prepared for the fight to come. Falak is going to be knocked, and so will be Aiku. And that's just calling the end for I8 with a sweet cherry on the top for the side of BABLU alongside. Great game. I mean, this is something I was expecting in Sanhok instead, because like, how many teams hopped into this one?
Ooh, too many fights. Too many fights happening left and right. Here we go. 3x just ended a fight with the players of Team I8 and are back in it. Are back in a fight against the players of Team BABLU. It seems like, oh, they were not ready for the shots. I think they'll get that revival and now try to fight it out evenly. But the thing is, you need to move inside the zone. 120 meters for the players of Team 3x. Let's see how do they go about that. They do have a pickup truck to help them, but the thing is, do they have information about the place that they want to be in? That's the major question. For Team BABLU, it's as simple as just jumping off of this ledge and dropping into the ridge in front of them. I think there was a ridge the previous time I saw this map, but here it's a very cheeky angle. It's a rat angle, I'd say, for Pikachu, and he almost got the knock onto 1-for-1. Only if the shots were a bit to the right, so that they could have passed through that small tiny gap. There could have been a knock possibility. Here, though, Senior gets a knock onto knock. Reggie side in a little bit of trouble. The frag, I think, got confirmed by the player of team 3X. Oh, okay. So 3X eliminated his teammate. So overall, team Tough gets eliminated too. BABLU team will get a knock onto Quantum Rage. So a lot of fights happening. But this fight between team BABLU and 3X could decide here. 2 players in a vehicle. But they somehow managed to not come into the crosshairs of team BABLU.
Well, Team BABLU is definitely gonna want to make sure that their crosshairs land on as many heads as possible, but is it gonna convert into a frag is the point. The connections are not yet coming in for their side, but BABLU Reviews is gonna have one, which he's not gonna make the best of. Very disappointing, but Pikachu, do you have the Thunderbolt required for your team? There's gonna be smoke covers provided. Gonna make sure that they have enough time to heal themselves, and there's gonna be another utility coming in from the side of a teammate from the side of Team BABLU. Is this gonna be required though? Because it seems like without any involvement into the fight, without any investment into the fight, the team has just fled off the scene. 1-for-1 official relocating themselves is gonna be trying to make sure that they catch BABLU by surprise. But knock knock, are you ready for it?
Ooh, knock is. He says yes sir, take Senior down. And QR is out of the game as well. Vaz just makes sure that no more heroics from Senior, no more heroics from Flanky. And Quantum Rage, what a game it has been for them till now. 7 frags overall. Still there are 21 players remaining. They have a chance to have a good big chicken here in this game. 1-for-1 with 2 different players. BABLU will take care of all of both of these players, and they get themselves those 5 overall frags. Even BABLU is a very strong contender with the number of players that they have. Another team which has 4 players alive is Team Star. But I cannot see them in action anywhere on the map here, Ahana.
Hey, okay, they're great stars. Okay, they do. So here's the thing they've been doing towards the end of the last week when you missed out on their action. They don't do action. They survive, and then they survive, and then they go back to the pavilion, and then they survive outside the lobby. That's exactly what's happening these days. So I'm not surprised they're here with all 4 members. They are literally hidden chickens. I just want to see how many chicken dinners they get. Because, so here's the thing. We talked about it. Maybe it's called a chicken dinner because you have to be a chicken. But then be the chicken that wins the chicken, not the chicken that becomes the roasted chicken that is given to the winning chicken.
Oh, that's correct too. That's correct. But BABLU suddenly they wanted to have ground control, and now are just reduced to 1 player standing for Team BABLU. Reggie side has spotted a player of Team 3X. Cairo just came down running and was like, yeah, I'll be good. I'll be chilling in this ridge. And Knock cannot force the issue here because he has some cover fire from up above. So 3X Cairo has a very good position here inside the zone. Now making troubles for the players of Team Reggie side to move in. Let's see how Reggie side deals with it. I think they do know that Cairo is here and he has some cover fire, and they're strategizing for a plan to deal with it.
Absolutely. I like how you said cover fire instead of cover fire by mistake, but at the same time there was a molly that was being launched by the same people, so it literally looked like it was a cover fire. Nonetheless, but yeah, loved it. Loved the timing of that. So great gameplay there with the words. Going back into the game, 3X is gonna be in 3 times the trouble because 3 teams have all of their eyes set around them, because this is becoming a lesser and lesser real estate that teams can work with, and that is gonna result in lesser and lesser men count on the side of 3X. 1 solo surviving Cairo. How? No, not any long at all. There's gonna be the run over. Run over, game over.
Yeah, poor little Cairo couldn't do much about it. He was just pincer down, taken down, and then run over. That's the worst way to die, I'd say. Being run over, having no say in the fight is the worst way to die. And that is what just happened with the last remaining player of 3x. Now Star suddenly has 2 frags. Who are the 2 unfortunate people that just died to the hands of Team Star? I'd like to know that. But yeah, now finally they're waking up. They know, yeah, we need the chicken, but we also do need some frags so that we're not toppled off the leaderboard even if we come out first. And that's a realization that they've finally had. 2 frags finally. Reggie side seems like they just want to fight it out against the Titan that is trying to defend that particular hill. Because the remainder of the 2 players are 2 from 7th element and 1 from BABLU, who hardly will have a say in this map right now. Because the lesser the number, the worse you are, the worse a position you have, is what Miramar says. So let's see Team Star if they're able to get through a miracle here or not. They're using the pickup truck, they're trying to get inside the zone, and that they have. They've got themselves inside the zone. Avenger hasn't though. Avenger still needs to move 20 meters inside the zone. Let's see how does he go about that. But Team Star, better position than the previous time. Let's see if they are able to close it out this time.
I have only one thing to say to Team Star. And this also includes the name of my best friend, guys. So yeah. The Team Star has been twinkling for a while now. I want to see them shine. I want to see them shine. I want to see them shoot their shots and not become the shooting stars by themselves. So, well done with the twinkle. Get it down a notch and start to shine in your greatest glory. Just like the crowns on your glory. Try to get one for yourself. Destroyer. No, this is not what you meant by that.
Ooh, and he gets taken off. He gets taken off by Vaz. A good nade, a good follow up on his teammate's call. Avenger though not deciding not to heal and just go in for the fight. A utility dump coming in from the players of Team Star. They desperately need a fountain of which they're not getting. And one by one they fall. They fall like leaves and they've been taken out of the game as well. 7th element though trying to play the spoil sport here. They want those third party frags. Goku bot tossed a nade there, tried to test his luck. But it went in vain. It went in vain because he gets nothing at all and just reveals his own position. So Reggie's side, now in a 4v2, just have to make sure they don't give those individual duels to the players of Team 7th element and the chicken is theirs. The 9th zone also closing in. So it's the team in the center who will be in an advantageous situation here because the zone will close in from the extremities. Goku bot has to come out huge here if they do want to have a chicken. Roshan tagged up quite a bit. On the left hand side, Goku has 2 different players but he's not moving. He finally decides to isolate Roshan in this fight but goes down. Roshan with very little HP is able to get that knock. And now T24 can just wait and watch for his demise. And that's the winner chicken dinner achieved.
Well, a great play nonetheless. Prouder they keep making me. And I'm just impressed by the performance coming in by these teams. They're doing a great job and Roshan bringing his team the 3rd chicken of the whole series so far and 4th overall ranking. Not bad. They're off to a great start this week.
Oh, for sure. 17 elimination. That's a very big number. Have we seen 30 till now, Ahana? A 30-pointer game?
Yes.
20 eliminations? Oh, alright. Would love to see how does Regicide perform in the future games.
Well, we'll see that happen soon enough. But before that, we'll see a tiny little break coming in the way because we need to prepare ourselves for the post-match analysis. Well, that was quite an impressive game from the side of Reggie's side. And this week, they are making their call announced very early on. And I'm happy about that. I'm proud of that. And I'm seeing all the players step up. That's a great achievement for a team that was lagging quite a bit behind towards the early stages of the last week. So, considering the fact it's only a 2-week, league system, after which we walk right into the
Yes.
finals, I feel like it's about time the team started stepping up. However, the one person who stepped up the most in this game, we'll take a look at him.
It is gonna be knock knock. Reggie side knocky. Good job done from this from this player. He was always there in the fight when Regicide was engaging in one. Entries were on point from Knock Knock, and he did his part. He did his part and was able to get his team in a good position. 5 eliminations overall, more than 1,000 damage. You cannot ask for a better performance from your entry fragger in a map like Miramar where there is nothing much to entry in.
Well, that's true. And I guess our teams have proven the point that give them the advantages or don't, they will make their own opportunities and knock right onto them. But let's just take a look at all the other players who knocked down quite a few to make sure that their team had the best chances. There it is. Oh my god. Okay. As I was saying, every single player is stepping up from this
Mhm.
team, and we see that right here. Every single one of them has made it to the top players. Are we talking about the top players, or were we mentioning the top roster? Because literally every single one of them is here.
Mom 2 is just there to spoil sport. Even the substitute player from Regicide could have been there, but yeah, he did
If
not
it was a
perform in the game.
five member squad,
Uh-huh.
I mean, we would have probably seen the fifth player from that side
Yeah,
as well. However, great
that's
job,
true.
Mom. Too. You made sure that even if the crown was going to someone else, you had your own two finger salute coming in.
Hey, that's correct. That's correct. And he kind of looks cool doing that
He
as
is
well.
cool.
3x.
Excuse me.
Ah,
They made it all the
I
way to the
agree.
show. This is cool. You and I, we could have tried. We wouldn't even make it to like 2 games ahead. I mean, you're better at the aim, but like,
All right, all right. Talking about some stats as well. Knock Knock got 5. Highest damage is also achieved by him. Even assist, he was also there to support his teammates. That's great. That's great. And highest healing done was achieved by King from 141, I think. So 551, we've seen a bigger number than this. 700, I think, is the number to beat here for all of these teams in terms of healing. But yeah, that's just King for you guys. That's just King. And talking about the previous game, the other teams also had some points. So let's have a look. How many points did the other teams get? So yes, we know Regicide got 27.
whoa.
And after that, it's a big, huge, humongous fall, just down to 10 points from 3x Esports.
Yup, that's quite a lot. I think that's the reason Regicide made such a huge, jump up in the leaderboard. It was not even a jump, it was literally a huge long leap of faith that has taken them all the way to top 5, and that's the first time for them. So I'm happy. I'm happy for them. Seventh Element not doing as good. Quantum Rage not as aggressive as I expected them to be. XGeneration, even in the initial phase of the new week, not the kind of not the kind of initiation I expect from them. The ground is, well, they reside in the ground. HellRaisers all the way towards the hell. Team H2E, yay, 1 point for them. Their name has 2. Even their name has more points than their game. So I mean, I'm being a little
Hey.
harsh, but I think it's time we
Uh-huh.
started being that, because it's already the second week. There's only 2 weeks altogether. If you don't even make it to being a team that plays the bonus match for the second week, how are you going to enter the finals with any good advantage? And are you even going to enter the finals? First question. So, like, it's just very difficult for me to be sugarcoating things right now. It is high
Mhm.
time that we start spitting facts and making sure that the teams are seeing what's happened. However, talking about seeing what's happened, here's a few clips from the game. Well,
Oh wait, there is some time. There is some time, Hana. We'll have a look at the game as well. We'll have a look at how the map of Miramar went. But it's not talking about the next map though. Is where I again ask you for your prediction and ask the teams to send you some money. What do you think? The next map of Erangel, how does it look for you?
I wouldn't say anything as quickly this time, because to be honest, I am surprised by the way the teams are performing. The whole, study that I had from the last week, it's not really working out for the new one, because teams are literally swapping places. There's a lot that I expected from a lot of teams that have gone all the way down into the, 60 deep shelter. There are a few that I was expecting nothing from, and they've shown up and shined all of their light all across. I mean, it's just great the way the teams are swapping places. It just makes the game more and more interesting, more and more nail biting. And
Mhm.
I mean, I'll take a couple of days before I'm at the best of my prediction game. But
Okay.
there are some things that we do not have to predict, like the overall rankings.
Uh-huh. That the production does for us. And
Yes.
it's Regicide. It's Regicide on top. I mean, of course, with a game with 27 points, you've played 3 games overall. You had to be there, Reggie said. I8 following up as well. They did not have a very good game, but still they're able to maintain their second position here, 35 points to their name. 3x Esports, even with 4 games, still on the third position, they could have done better.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the grounders, even after a chicken, they are all the way on ninth position. I was expecting better. I was expecting much more. Team negatives in a great position right now. They are all the way on the 11th position. However, it's too early to feel like anything is solidified or set in stone. But still, Team Star, Team Negatives, it's a moment to shine. It's a moment of glory. Take it to your advantage and maybe gain some confidence that can take you further. However, I'm very disappointed in the performance of the HellRaisers. I saw
Okay.
same thing the last whole week. Like
Hmm.
they didn't come up to the occasion. They didn't step up to the occasion. They did not involve themselves in any parties. It was a sad week. I felt like, okay, now that we have a new week, now that the things are changing around, we will see something new coming in. It's the same old story with this team. It's about time they rise from the hell that they have situated themselves in.
What I've seen for all these new teams is that they're playing way too passive. Way too passive. Even I'll talk about Team Star in the previous game. Had they taken the initiative to take a fight and then lost, I wouldn't have a lot of complaints with them. But then you're just surviving. You're just playing for the 4 players standing. You get that, and still you're not able to take the advantage out of it. That's when it hurts me the most. These teams, they're just falling under pressure. They're just crumbling under the pressure and playing the game that their opponents want them to play. Talking about the final game though now, the map of Erangel, this will be a default map, a more tactical one,
Yep.
as Ahana said. Ahana, another seventh element game is what we expect here.
I don't think so. Not this time.
Okay.
Not this time.
All
And
right.
one of the biggest reasons of that is that they won't be playing this one. So
Oh, okay.
I think seventh
I didn't
element
see
already
that.
had all
Mhm.
four. I think so. Let's see.
Yes.
Probably I'm
All
wrong.
right. All right.
But I feel I'm not.
They did have they did have all 4. I think
Yeah.
we'll check it. We'll check it in game. If we see seventh element, then they did not. But if they did, yeah, then great for us. But yes, I have a feeling though, if team 3x Esports plays this game, we might see them win this one out. They'll
Well,
probably go to military base and eliminate I8.
that might just happen. But I feel like I think again, first day of lobby shuffles, so we're not completely 100% sure. But I think 3x is also not playing this one. I think 3x and 7th element both were in group A. However, we'll just take a look at this one and find out soon as the team names pop up. And I do see 7th element, so I'm wrong there, but I do not see 3x. So yeah, I'm right on one, wrong on one. Cool, works for me.
Works. I know. But this time though, the plane path is not going towards the southern part of the map. We have the plane path starting from Lipovka and going all the way to Georgiapol. So it's sort of a centralish path, I'd say. Not the best possible one though, because the areas like Ferry Pier, Primorsk, Novorep, military base, they won't be achievable, but the rest of the map is. So even if a team wants to go to Kameshki or even maybe Spawn Island, that that could be a thing here.
Absolutely. We'll have to see how our teams capitalize on making that a thing. I think Magnus is again gonna stick with the um default drop that they generally go for. Yasnaya Polyana is gonna be capitalized by QWERTY if I'm not sorry, Quantum Rage if I'm not wrong. But it seems like Team Negatives is going way too far from the rest of the cluster. And okay, that might give them a shot at survival, but I don't think survival is the thing that Team Negatives has to worry about anymore, because by just surviving they saw how the last week went. You don't want to repeat the same mistake. I want to see these teams, Team Negatives, and then let's take a look. I want to see H2E, Team Star, and even TFD. I want to see these teams actually go ahead, take some fights, and establish themselves some ground before they actually go for the position points, because there is a great need of frag points as well this time, considering the position points have gone down quite a bit. I am seeing 52 esports show up to the occasion. I'm seeing 141 try to show up to that occasion. So that's definitely working out for them. R3G is doing great this week. But yes, there are still teams that I want to see more from.
All right. Let's see. The Magnus early on found a vehicle for themselves, and I think are going in more deep inside the zone because I think they do want some more time to gather that good loot. And this time around, the zone, it's a very weird zone, has gone all the way northeast, northwestern sort of a zone is what has formed here, and I'd like to see Magnus capitalize on it. Reggie side though need to be very quick on their loot. A minute left on the clock, and then they'll have to rotate 1800 odd meters inside the zone as well. Although they are in Milta, so there is a garage over here which usually spawns a vehicle 50% of the times, or even if they don't get it, they'll have it at least on the road that leads towards the farm area. So the vehicle shouldn't be a problem here. H2E finally find themselves alone. HellRaisers is usually the team that contests them in this area, but this time they cannot be found anywhere near to them. So H2E, lucky to have the whole place to themselves. They'll have that tier 1 loot. Talking about Team QWERTY again, early loot stages, vectors and shotguns all around the board. They're looting the mansion split. I think one of the players would be seen in shelters as well. So yeah, not nothing great to see here. Okay, they're also in Lipoka, so a very wide spread in terms of the player's position and in loot as well. I8 back to Rozok and the Water City split, I think, or maybe even Ruins as well.
Yep.
Falak is going towards Ruins, so that's I think their usual spot where they usually drop and have the loot for themselves. So yeah, all of these teams, they do look, they're comfortable, they're set in the positions that they need to be. Again, no early fights for them, similar to the way that the Miramar map started. No early fights, no problem for any of the teams. They'll have their first fights, I think, while they're trying to rotate, for which the time has already come. For many teams, for the teams gone down south, they have to start rotating as quickly as possible.
Absolutely. The southern area needs to be evacuated as quickly as possible. There's a tsunami coming in from the south of the map, and it's gonna sweep up, eat up any players in the range. You cannot survive, and that's something you need to be very, very aware of, very, very cautious of. However, talking about the teams that are already in the northern regions, you need to make sure there are no invaders that can take away your real estate, that can take away the control that you have on the map. So you need to make sure that you have all of your people on point, making sure that the more land you get, the more advantage you have, and every single advantageous position is acquired for you and you alone. I sound like someone on a broadcast who is trying to give actual casualty, highlights to
Mhm.
people to make sure that they're able to survive. But okay, if the players could hear me, they would. Right now, let me just get back to my own job. Ready, right? Having fun. Oh, that's right.
They all of these teams, they finally rotated inside except for a few chosen ones. 7E, seventh element, H2E, TFD. All of these teams, they still need to be very quick on their rotations, and we might see a fight breaking around the bridge of Rozok in Yaznaya Polyana. There are two different teams. I think 141 Mithi is one of the names that I see. Even XGeneration could be the team that comes in with the third party, or maybe Team Quantum Rage from Yazna Polyana if they hear those shots and then they try to rotate as well. So a lot of fights can happen here because of the rotations that this zone has caused. And let's see if these fights do break out. H2E, they're like, yeah man, we'll take our time, we'll chill out here. We'll try to loot Nova Rapanai completely first, then maybe start rotating when we have the third zone, maybe second, because the way that they are right now, the second zone is about to form in the next 2 minutes, and they don't even have a vehicle as for now to search. So yeah, they're very chill on the way that they want to play it out. Nightmare though seems to be unaware that there is a player just underneath the bridge. We have Mithi trying to swim his way out of trouble, but Nightmare seems to be the gatekeeper to make sure that it does not happen. And did Nightmare spot the vehicle that has stopped on the other side of the ridge? I don't think so, because Nightmare now can be punished. He has his back to turned towards the players of Team Quantum Rage. Finally, I think he has an idea and he spots the players as well. So yeah, now he needs to take some solid cover behind the rock, or maybe just hightail it and take the vehicle, run away from this particular position. He does not, and Spark gets an opportunity, gets the knock, and that's the frag quantum rage needed to get back into this particular area. Nightmare out of the game. That's Team Esports losing a player early on.
Well, absolutely a very early loss here for the teams, and they would want to make sure that they are not gonna make this one of the initial claims that they're not gonna survive in the game pretty long, because not esports and tough X, both the teams, they do need as many points as possible to make sure that they are able to on the leaderboard. They are running real low right now, and they need the fueling that's provided to them. Quantum Rage, however, Senior is already knocked. Divine is gonna be trying to take a refrag in exchange to make sure that that loss, if it is not able to be recovered from, there is at least something in store which can be Divine. And well, look at that, Maxi. Just going ahead, riding on to Quantum Rage players and crushing them to the soul.
Quantum Rage, they lost two. They lost Spark, they lost Senior, and it's all down to Flanky and Divine. How do they come out of such a bad situation is my question right now.
They don't.
North Esports though. Oh, okay, alright. I'd like to see them prove you wrong, maybe. Get a
I
chicken
would
with
love
just
that,
the two
yes.
players standing. Oh, okay, you would love
Even
that
though-
as well. How are you disappointed? When are you disappointed? I would like to know.
When I have to cast next to you, that's really a big turn off. But like, no, getting
Okay.
actually serious.
Alright.
Even though I do get
Mhm.
commended a lot on having the right predictions, I love it most when I am wrong, because that means someone just showed up to the occasion, went against all the odds, and won the chicken that wasn't even in their names. So that just shows way too much hard work, way too much, experience in the game that is coming into action, and making sure that the teams that had zero chance just go ahead and make it their game altogether. So, like, that's just a proud moment for me.
Ooh. Although seventh element, they just had a very proud moment where a player just jumped out of a running vehicle, shot those mini 14 shots and got a knock. That's how accurate I want to be in life as well. Just aim for what you want and just achieve it somehow. But that's not going to happen. QWERTY though, for now, Voltrux and Wolverine, they also have lost two players. There are a lot of teams who finally suffered losses here. Add negatives to the list as well, because budget has been taken care of. And yeah, players being lost left and right in these rotations.
Hurt you so bad, Felix, that you don't even feel like you're achieving your aims. I mean, I feel like you're doing pretty good for yourself. Even all jokes apart, I feel like you're doing great. And I'm actually, even though I don't say it on screen and I'll never repeat it, even though it's gonna live on the internet for a while, I'm actually honored to be casting next to you. However, going back to
Okay.
the circle is gonna be again loving all the water that it can gain. And the teams are gonna have a harder time circulating into it. However, once they make it into this circle, moving into the next one is not gonna be as difficult, because I am not expecting a hard north shift circle again. And that just makes it easier for the teams to actually circulate through and make sure that they have nothing to watch on their backs. However, about talking about watching backs, there's at least 5 teams who have been very bad at doing that for themselves, and they've lost quite a few players very early on into the game. We're still just entering stage 2. This is not looking good for any of them. NES, QWERTY, QR, negatives, tough X. That's not how you walk into this one.
I love how whenever we switch POVs, we see a player either knocked or in a vehicle. It seems like no one other than that is available for us to watch. Look at this MM boy still in the vehicle. Ghost on the verge of getting knocked, and Chosen Boy is knocked out. Falak is also in his vehicle. Ghost goes down to Evil Boy's spray. So it's everyone who's trying to rotate going down on the ground. That's just unfortunate. Evil Boy comes out of his vehicle, tries to confirm the knock that he had on Ghost, but it's not going to be easy at all. A smoke wall being created here. Some random DP shots being taken from Evil Boy, hoping to get a knock, but the counter is there from Aiku. Aiku just wants to make sure that Ghost is brought back onto his own feet, and then they continue the game as a group of 4. Sad Boy also using a vehicle, just trying to rotate off of this position. I think the call has been made that you need to fall back, respect the zone, and move inside of it.
Well, we'll see who moves into the zone and who stays outside and moves literally out of the lobby. However, X Generation, again, I mean, I cannot tell you how many times I have repeated myself on this. I want to see them have a chicken. I want to see them have a chicken. It seems like they have all the frags in the world, but they have become like vegan or something. They never try to go for the chicken dinner, and even when they try, they don't get it. It's just, I don't get it. Okay, yeah, as expected, the circle has definitely not made an a northern or a central shift. It has gone a little bit to the south, and that just makes it easier for Team QWERTY, who is just walking out of the blue zone, to make sure that they are able to rotate into the circle as quickly as possible out of the movement situations that are coming from the teams. But still, gonna look out for H2E. Do want to see this team shine a little.
Alright, let's see the X Generation. That's a decent start. 4 players standing, 2 frags to their name on the edge of the zone, so won't be a lot of trouble to get inside of it. So good spot for X Generation to be in. But this is where things change. This is where things turn. The 4th zone is what I'd like to see how these teams deal with. Let's see, Thug right now in a buggy. He's trying to gatekeep anyone who tries to come from this particular angle is what I think. Thug has spotted Wolverine as well. So he has bits and pieces of information. Tokusaurus runs the player with a vehicle, drops out of it, shotgun to the face, and that's 7th element securing 2 more frags to their name.
At the loss of one, though, Magnus Esports being the most opportunistic team that we've seen today, just goes ahead, makes sure that Alien is taken out of the game, and well, Tokusaurus loses his breath. And I just want to be proven wrong by 7th element this time, because I always feel like if Tokusaurus isn't playing anymore, they generally do lose. So I'd want to see them do something different and win this one. But Magnus is not gonna stop being a hassle for them or an obstacle for them. They're just gonna keep getting in the way. H3 gonna put up some smoke, gonna go ahead and make a revival possible. Don't worry, H2E, you're not that important to anyone right now. Nobody is watching you. Make sure your revival is possible. Make sure you get back into the circle. However, 1-4-1 and Magnus, it's not the same situation there. They're way too close to each other. If here Magnus is a little late to walk back into the circle, there is definitely gonna be some resistance that they have to face through 1-4-1. However, that resistance does not seem like it's gonna be the one that's able to stop them from winning, but it will definitely deal some damage that's gonna result in a couple of frags that will take away the man count advantage from the side of Magnus Esports. They're already running 1-man low. They might just become a 2-man squad after all. Ooh, Star Miracle. I love the position he's holding, and well, the best capitalization, it was supposed to come from here. A little too passive. He has all the opportunity to go ahead and take a fight head on, but he's just gonna keep launching those utilities to no result whatsoever. None the wiser, QF is not trying to make any aggression there either. Both these teams are in a tug of war of who loses patience first, and that's just not looking like the right war to be in. It's PUBG Mobile being the war that involves guns and bullets. Oh my god, that was quite an aggressive move coming in from the side of 7th element, but that's gonna be instantly shut down by none other than the faulty devil. 7th element getting eliminated all the way on rank 15. That's how you close a team. That's how you hit their ego. That's how you make sure that your confidence skyrockets right out of the limits.
What is happening in this game? Stage number 4 is closing and you still have 14 teams surviving. That's just a very big number to have in this zone. Magnus though, trying to make their way through this artificial red zone that has been created with the nades from 1-1. But still, it's 1-1 who has king down on the 1-4-1 who has one of their players down on the ground. Mithi, JD, Habshi, they are still trying to hold down the fort against the players of Team Magnus. And let's see how do they do that. Drawlin spots a free frag, takes it, says thank you very much. Now moving forward to the remainder of the 3 players. Let's see how does Team Magnus invade their compounds.
Well, right now Magnus does have a lot to worry about. They do not look like they have the best HP. They're not even trying to revive themselves, so it seems like they're either running low on time or on their medications. And Roland, well, you've been drawn out. Your blood is on the ground, and with that, Hubshi is gonna go ahead with another utility being tossed right in. It's not gonna result into much because I feel like 141 has a little lesser, execution ability when it comes to using those utilities, stopping them. But there they go, they're trying to get into a fight, but it's gonna be a pinch, and that pinch will result into a better result for the side of Magnus, however. But then come the knocks. It's gonna be a complete time advantage going in the favor of 141. They are gonna be able to revive their players before Zen is able to lock in, but Zen is gonna make sure that the frag is still in his hands. With that, it's a 2v1 scenario. Zen. The play zone is gonna hurt you way more than 141 will ever be able to. Are you gonna be able to make it way back in? It's looking
One for one,
difficult.
they're playing it smart. They're playing
They're
it super
definitely
smart.
playing
They
smart.
they just want to get inside the zone, make sure Zen bleeds out. Zen pops up a first hit, still patiently waiting, letting the players of 141 think that this guy is out of the ground, but he isn't. Another first hit being popped by Zen, and finally he makes his move. He gets inside the zone, he gets inside the circle, behind the oil tanker, but here comes the push from the players of 141. Harsh, he's dealing a lot of damage, but that's a great jump shot. That's a great jump shot, and Habshi with the support, Mithi with the frag. Magnus eliminated on 13.
Well, we do have to see. We do have to see yet how the teams go ahead and perform from here, because again, no more predictions can be made with the kind of performance that we've seen coming in from the side of Magnus or from the side of Seventh Elements, neither from the side of 141. Like, look at them, they have so many frags to their name this time. However, the man count really is lagging behind, but is it gonna be a hindrance? We'll see by the amount of players that get lost from the side of 52 and Star, because these two teams seem like they're gonna be losing very quickly when it comes to player count. But in the meanwhile, they are gonna take some to their name. So tough, it's a tough luck for you. Seems like you're gonna be showing back to the lobby very quickly.
Oh, Falak though, good nades from Falak, and even Aiku follows up. Asad and Rex are down on the ground, all down to Erangel. Falak tries to use the DBS to its full advantage, but Thug comes in with the third party here. It's Sayed who gets those frag. Thugs gets taken care of as well. And I8. How many players did they lose? They just lost one. Okay, they just lost Falak in the fight. 7 frags to their name. 3 players still surviving. This looks like a good game for the players of Team I8 to make a comeback in. This will also help them to get back on the top of the leaderboard. And Og is also in the play as well. So upgraded weapons, better weapons here to fight with. But Hapshi, you need to be very careful about this snake. But you get spotted down. Mithi gets spotted down from Destroyer. That's the mini doing its job. 1 for 1. You need to work the way Hapshi is. Because Mithi, you're getting taken down as soon as you just pop your head off. Easy boy, cooking a nade. On to use it, I am. A nade that does not tag you at all, but Easy boy gets tagged up quite a bit. The follow-up might just do the job. Does it? It doesn't, because he moves away. I think Easy Boy just moves away. And I8, they have so much control that Username is just literally jumping out in the open and not getting shot at.
Absolutely. Uzma is doing a great job for the team. However, looking at 1 for 1, it seems like they're going to keep getting in more and more difficult situations, because the faulty rebels are trying to look up into this area to make sure that they have a better rotation available to themselves. In desire of area control, they might just come face to face with Habshi. However, Habshi being all the way on ground might be an advantage, but then his backpack being such a flashy one might just be a disadvantage. Mithi will definitely be available to provide any cover that's required, but is that gonna be all that's required to make this fight against TMP a win? No, it's not gonna be enough. Mithi is gonna be taken down. Okay, it's Hapchi that goes down, but Mithi is gonna be falling back as well. It's not gonna give much opportunity to Mithi to come back into the fight. He's just gonna crouch there, heal himself, while freestylers are gonna be doing the same thing. The Faulty Devils has one player who's still ready to take up a fight using up the vehicle. There is a move coming in from the side of Mithi, but the vehicle sound should definitely have been given out. That just means that they're gonna focus more on the healing at this moment, but from a longer range, from a further angle, I think Mithi is looking for revenge, and that taste of blood is just gonna seep in. However, in the meanwhile, the grounders will get grounded just again.
I8, they just also found a nade onto one of these the grounders boys. And that's another frag. Evil boy goes down. That's the 8th one on the board for I8, and they're inside the zone too. This dip, this ridge that you have, it is super advantageous. Until and unless someone gets in a range where you can throw nades in, before that it is just an OP range which you cannot counter directly. Star Destroyer gets destroyed. Chotu a good nade onto your opponent and he's able to get that knock, and another one onto Avenger. So Reggie side also in a bit of trouble, but I'd say that knock's nade will relieve the pressure somewhat.
Well, we might see what's gonna happen soon enough, but 52 Esports, they are gonna be in a lot of trouble using Tokusaurus advantage here. Vaz is gonna make sure that 52 Esports is pretty distracted and giving away their position instantly. They are gonna be using their utilities to dump onto them. Soto is the last man surviving who can actually take a fight. Koko has been put back into a position to take a fight, but Knock gets knocked down, and in the same time, Fofo and Choto both have their positions getting marked down by the running Vaz all across the table. And with that run over, here comes the end for 52 Esports. There it is. A great finish to a great fight. But does that mean you're in a good position? No, it does not. You don't have enough players, Reggie. Just 3 wanted and your last fight is going to be against I8. So you better have, maintained that man count. However, I guess a loss is a loss, but with 5 defeats, I can let it slide.
Oh, look at this. 4 teams on just a single player. 2 teams with just 2 players surviving. What is happening? Vaz gets the frag onto Zyro J as well. So that's another point for the players of Team Reggie side. Reggie side is slowly and steadily catching up. I8, Aiku. I think shots that were taken just on the basis of instinct over there and almost landed as well. Only if the shack was not there. What a stupid thing to say. But yeah, the grounders, this nade should get M-Boy, and it does. And now it's all down to Sad Boy. He's the last one standing. Instantly goes for the revival though. That's a good decision to make because I8, they won't just push in like that, they do. But then the trade comes in and I8 able to get the frag, get the revive, and still have the 3 players standing.
Well, it looks like I8 is going in for a big match this time. They've already crossed the double-digit elimination point, and there's still 6 teams on board. Team Negatives is doing nothing at all, just surviving for the sake of the placement points. I mean, it makes sense, you're only 1 player, but then what were you doing when you were all 4 as well? Because should have been at least a couple of frags on that board. There are for TMP, they have 4. There are for 141, there are 6. It's a great start for these teams, but Negatives just does not look like they're stepping up. I just started being optimistic about them and they shut me down like that. It hurts. I'm hurt. However, right now the most hurt is Team Quantum Rage. Only 1 frag, that too from a well-performing team, and only 2 men surviving. Can they make it?
Reggie side though, this is the only team contesting I8 because I don't think so Quantum Rage has ability to get a chicken. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe in the next 5 minutes I'm proven wrong. But let's see if that happens or not. Aiku taking some tap shots with that suppressed AK, trying to find anything. Finds nothing at all. Avenger though finds a head onto the player of Quantum Rage. And now even Quantum Rage is reduced to 1 player. I8 spot the rotations of Team Quantum Rage happening. but now again Avenger is out for Hunt. He is out with the buggy. Try to spot the last player. Random spray through the smoke will connect. What? Vaz is the one to get the frag with the vehicle, but that spray did connect as well. And that's the elimination of another team.
Yep, quantity is going to be sent back to the lobby. It's just 5 teams remaining, or call it 2 teams and 3 individuals surviving just by the hair. Right now, it seems like the individuals that are surviving here wouldn't want to invest in any fights. Just take a couple of frags from the third party situations that they can be provided with. Negatives, I have zero expectations right now in this game, at least. Regicide, however, already announcing and a very aggressive utility drop down onto Agonex I8. Uzm's position is pretty compromised, but Avenger, if you are thinking what I am thinking, then don't do it, because I'm generally not thinking the right thing.
Just made a puzzle out of your statement, huh?
I keep doing
Just
that. I
made a
like
puzzle.
it.
It's Regicide now who need to make a move inside the zone. Vaz is also moving inside the zone, but Freestyler, he has spotted all this rotation happening, but has decided to just crawl his way inside the zone. That's a good decision. You just don't want Vaz to know you that you're in that particular position, but he just turns and takes you down anyway. So Regicide secure another frag. That's the 9th one for them. So even Regicide is now catching up to the number that I8 has. And this will help them in their confidence. It is looking like a 3v3 fight after all, and these remaining solo players, they don't have a lot of effect in this fight. Till now, though, that has been the case.
Absolutely.
I think so that I8, they do not have an idea that there is a snake lurking nearby, and Guru Boy, he's patiently waiting. But he'll wait. He'll wait patiently. He'll wait for the chicken. He'll wait for the players of Team I8 to fight it out, and then maybe strike at the right time. Mithi goes down to Ghost. So now I8 is thinking, yes, 7 players standing. It's a 4v3, guys. Regicide Roshan has taken some shots and probably has confirmed their expectations here too. Regicide though, let's see how do they want to approach this fight. Finally, the 9th zone has also started to shrink in. They need the center of the zone, but they're out for blood. And finally, Guru Boy strikes. Now does he get traded out? He instantly runs into the compound. Avenger has been tagged up quite a bit. Vaz goes down to IQ. Roshan is trying to spray the hell out of the last player, but he also gets taken care of. Guru Boy is just securing these frags left and right. Agon XI8, they've been surprised here, but the surprise seems to be good. IQ, if he falls, this could be disastrous. This could be disastrous if he falls. But a nade will close out the player. And even I8 takes care of Guru Boy in that particular position. So it's winner, chicken dinner for Team I8. But a great game for Team Negatives as well.
Absolutely. They reached all the way to 2nd position. That is great. That is absolutely commendable. And I mean, I did not expect anything from Negatives, but they did show up to the occasion. And that's exactly what I was talking about. People are constantly delivering exactly what they want to show us. However, the biggest delivery of the day has been this chicken dinner to I8. This is the 2nd one on the first day itself. Closes them on 4th overall rank with 24 total points on this one. But yes, a great start to a great week, and I cannot wait to see all the action that is going to be packed into the 2nd one. However, this one is not over yet. We have more to talk about, isn't it, Prince?
The post-game statistics are going to be very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. But that will happen after a very short break, guys. So stay tuned. We will just be right back.
इस रमजान पबजी मोबाइल के साथ बांटें अच्छाइयाँ ऑनलाइन और ऑफलाइन खेलें सिर्फ दिल जीतने के लिए
What a game and what a start to the 2nd week for a team that was supposed to be on top since the beginning, according to the fans, but then eventually dropped themselves down quite a bit, and now seems like they're picking up all of the pieces.
That they are doing, and a great way. I'd say a great way from the side of Team I8 to play the game. They had just 3 players, and still they were able to get the chicken out of those 3 players. And yes, the MVP is going to be from their team as well. It's IQ who did not help the team at all in terms of assists, but it did help them a lot in terms of the eliminations that he got.
Yep, and another eagle graph. I mean, this week is weird, but okay. Great job.
Butterfly.
Okay, butterfly.
Butterfly
Let's call
graph.
it that. Let's call it that. And right after this one, you never get to say that guys don't like cute things because you just named a cute flyer
it
instead of a ferocious
it
one, which I was going for.
it it does not even make sense. But all right. I mean, women's are never wrong, I'd say. But yeah, talking about the remaining 5 players as well who had an impact in the game: IQ, UZM, Avenger, Ghost, and Vaz. I mean, all of these 3 teams, we all okay, not three, just the 2 teams that we're seeing right now
Yeah.
had a lot of impact.
They
This
do.
is or this was the main fight in the whole game: I8 versus Regicide.
Absolutely, and that did carry a lot of weightage as well. Even though Regicide did not end second or first, I'm pretty sure that they have bumped up their overall scoreline and have placed themselves right above where they were already. However, let's take at the match summary once before we move any further into the discussions of the total standings. But yeah, the match summary definitely has quite a good story for us here. I'm expecting similar names, and there it is, 3 names all the way from I8. But wait a second, TFD made a mark? Okay, more ceiling done. Alright, makes sense. Cool.
Ah,
Good
they
job.
were the ones who took the most beating, Ahana.
Yeah.
That's 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 what this statistic mean, I think.
Kinda, yeah.
Although if it would have been our region and it would have been the map of Sanhok, this chart would have been somewhere around 1500 is what I feel, because 30 first aids means 60 to 70 every heal, so more than even 2000. Man,
Yeah.
that chart would have been crazy. That chart would just have been crazy.
Well, definitely. However, we will be seeing quite a few, numericals on our screens because this match was pretty interesting, and it's gonna calculate all of the things that are gonna happen in the second day of the first week. Look at that, 24 points, a very announced victory coming in from the side of Icon X8, and even though a great number of eliminations was taken down by the side of Regicide, they have to satisfy themselves with 15 points only. Wait a second, Team Negatives came third? It seemed like they came second. Okay. In any case, it's not gonna
Mhm.
matter much because they do have a very specific position on the chart to stick by. So,
I really think the nade that was thrown got
yeah,
the frag first onto the player of negative, and then Regicide was taken down. That's why I think the change in number. But yeah, 7th element, not the best possible performance. Team Star shining on the bottom of the leaderboard with just 3 frags. Quantum Rage with 3 points to their name as well. And yeah, that's about it. QWERTY is the only team that ended up with 0. So improvement in that department for most of the teams. At least every team was able to get 2 points to their name. But
Mhm.
still, these 2 points won't get you too far in the whole tournament.
Absolutely. You do have to keep, getting at least 6 to 7
Mhm.
points every single, match to be able to make sure that you're in the top 12, so that you can make sure that you're playing the bonus match that's happening on a very cool map of Vikendi, and then go ahead further from there. However, talking about the maps, we do have quite a bit that we saw in this one.
Oh, the starting was, I'd say, very, very slow for most of these teams, and we did not see fights until stage 2 started. The rotations is where the first initial fights happened, and then finally the teams decided to brawl it out in some situations where we had a lot of clear winners out there. Many teams lost 1 or 2 players early on in the game, and we had like 5, 6 teams surviving just one player in the final few zones. So that was very interesting as well. Saw that after a very, very long period of time, because other than that, in the previous few games, we've seen like 4 teams surviving with 3 or more than 3 players standing.
Absolutely, and I mean that generally looks like the most crowded circle in the
Mhm.
end. However, this one was great. I mean, it was new, and as I was saying, there's a lot of new things coming in this week. So yeah, it's great dishing out doing.
That's true. And let's have a look. How does the leaderboard look after day number 1? What does it have for us in the
Ooh,
store? And it's I8 on top, but man, you have to consider the margin as well, and it's just of
yep,
3 points. But majorly, if you talk about the top 2 teams, it's the race between those two, right? 7th element is there, but they just have 35 points to their name. XGeneration for them as well, just 35 points. But an interesting fact here, XGeneration just has 7 placement points and 28 elimination points.
Yep,
A
that is a
team,
huge number.
a team which has single digit placement points is able to even best a team that has a chicken dinner. I
Yep.
cannot comprehend this.
Absolutely. However, there is another noticeable thing here. So Regicide does have more placement points than Agonex I8 and still has only one chicken dinner overall. That means there is one thing that can be said for sure,
Mhm.
that Regicide is a little more consistent than Agonex I8. Even after two chickens, they do not have a greater margin of exceeding Regicide in placement points. That means Regicide is making sure they're surviving for longer, and the difference is only 3 points. So it seems like Regicide is showing up to the performance pretty well. However, I am trying to see the same coming in from the side of quite a few teams now. I just feel like every single team on the second page, except for Magnus Esports, they just literally are playing very, very passive. They all need to step up, they all need to try and take a few fights. They need to make sure that they get the best of the situation that's provided to them. However, taking a look at the total weekly overalls, we've crossed the 200 mark, and look at that, 3x is still not losing their spot. Overall, Regicide is still on 5th position, and the difference here is 6 points.
Hmm. The gap has reduced though, 224, 220, 206, 205. It has been brought to a level where one good game for a team and a bad game for other one could just really mean the difference
Swap
between first
everything,
and
yeah.
second spot. So
Exactly.
that's great. That's a great news for most of these teams. We have XGeneration, Team BABLU, all of these teams are qualifying. But where do we see the rest of the teams? Team HellRaisers still on the bottom chart. Team Star still on the bottom chart. Even Team Negatives as well. So that
Yep.
this means that the 16th position mark that has crossed 100 needs to be achieved. Of the otherwise, see, I do see 3 clear-cut teams that might just get eliminated here: Negative, Star, and HellRaisers.
Absolutely. And with Hellraisers, okay, this is again harsh, but it's week 2, it's time for harsh. Hellraisers does not even seem like they're even gonna cross the 100 mark. However, I do know this is one of the teams that is gonna get eliminated, but let's see how the greatest eliminations have been, because here are the people with the best eliminations in this game, in this series. The number one spot is still being rocked by Miracle, and I think he's way far from being booked from there.
Aiku could touch him, but he'll need a flawless game. He'll need a game with 6-7 eliminations to his name and hopefully eliminate Miracle very early on. That's the type of game Aegon XI8 need to bring this guy up on the charts as well. Noki also knocking the door here with 41 frags. Shamir boy, I just saw good performance from Shamir boy in the first couple of days where he was out fragging everyone. He was getting 6-7 frags every game, but after that haven't seen him a lot.
No, he
T24
has
though.
been showing up pretty well though. Shamir Boy
Okay.
is showing up pretty well. It's just he keeps switching his name. He becomes Alpha Boy 77. He becomes Shap Shap. So it becomes a little confusing. But yeah, he is showing up. Don't worry.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Then T24 as well with 39 frags. So all of these players, they have themselves in a range where they can behest the other one, but then it'll take a lot of good games from their teams as well, a lot of support from their teams as well to achieve that top place on the chart.
Yep. We are seeing two chickens here from the side of Aegon XI8. A great initiation to the new week from the side of 7th Element, but the most proud I am is by the Grounders and Regicide. These two teams had not given as much hope to their fans, but now they give a surviving lifeline to all of them and still root for the team that they came for. However, it does seem like the damage on the side of the Grounders is pretty low, but it makes sense. It was the map of Sanhok, but then compare it to that of Erangel with 7th Element, that's very low. However, the number of eliminations on that side was great. It just means that they stole a few, but it's okay. All is fair in game and war. I don't
And
think
this is
anything
PMPL.
Exactly.
And this
This
is
is the biggest
PMPL.
war.
This is the biggest war that could happen here. But yeah, it was a great day, Anna. Did see a lot of action happening here. and the team that literally came out on top is I8. But
Yep.
this has been the trend, right? The week start, day number 1, it's I8 ruling it out completely.
Absolutely. However, I am gonna keep an eye out to follow the team that is 3x. And while I do that,
Okay.
I want all of our followers and viewers to make sure that they follow us on all of our social medias to stay updated with all of the details that are coming in, because now the number of stats has increased. Now the number of numbers that are
Yes.
on the board has increased, and it's very hard to keep track just by your mental mathematics. So make sure that you're everywhere and you're spotting us right on points. I'm gonna be your host, Anna Aiden, and with me on desk today was Fritz. We'll take your leave for the night, but we'll see you again tomorrow. So go somewhere, but then come back.